Hey y'all. I can't share my damn screen. What the hell? Jesus. See. Hey Free Mean. I can't never share. Girl, I can't. If you can share the live, I would appreciate that. I can't never share the live. I don't know why. Thank you. I don't know why I can't, but I can't. And it's weird. Um Maybe I need to press it. I'm trying to see. No. Hey Tara. Um Jesus. I can't share the live. Here, yeah, I hope Mr. Blanco come on in because I'm interested. Let me share
Yeah,
it.
because when I asked the question about it, like being an identity thing, I don't know if he realized, but he did the same thing. He was talking about like a partner, and
Hey, LJ. Yeah, right. Like that's a good that was a good place. And I also like when you were making a point about that it's not a feeling for women, but it's a feeling in the opposite. So I was really wanting to talk about that. And it's like I want to be careful because I really want to get some understanding, but shit, damn.
yeah, I can't do shit over here. I can't even invite nobody up. Oh, there you go.
Being domestic. So I'm
That's
up here
crazy.
being domestic and about to burn this shit up, about to get pimp slapped for fucking this shit up.
Hey.
But you was about to say something, so you can go ahead. I done got some order.
I just want to touch back and make sure I understand what you meant by experience, like womanhood or being a woman is experience. Um, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so the way I this my let me make it clear where my understanding is. Let me take a seat real quick. To me, I think that I think woman is a simple descriptor for the phrase a female adult human. For example, I just think it's woman is just that, and I think that the roles that are placed on women is what the social construct is, right? So when I think about how being a female human and what it means to be a woman or a girl, especially in all these societies that are patriarchal, you experience what that's like based on the things that you go through and the things that you experience with it that aligns with the sex part, but it's also about the experience. Like you're a woman based on how this society treats you. It's not that I feel anything. It's just that I'm supposed to do boom 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 boom. So if let's say we were in a different world where these roles wasn't assigned to women, female adult humans, or female human children, then I don't know what we would be doing. I know that women generally will be having children. Women generally will be doing certain things, but I don't know if it would be the same type of pressure. I think our experience would be different, but I still think that we would have a shared experience. It would just be that we would have a shared experience that our female human sex does these things, and we would just share that experience. Sometimes we have menstrual cycles, sometimes we have children, sometimes we are just sometimes we have breasts, sometimes whatever. Like it would just be we will be able to just understand that. We'll be able to see each other and recognize that in the same way that we'll be able to see that there is a male human group that do certain things. So that's what I mean by experience, or it's just the existence.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, and see, I could never relate completely to that experience. You know, um, Like from a standpoint of when all those things was happening, like in middle school, trying to figure out your body and being in locker rooms and shit. For me, I couldn't understand that experience, you know, or like talking to boys or you know, first kiss or whatever the fuck, you know. I could never understand the experience. I could never understand why the girls my age was like so excited to have their chest coming in. Like that wasn't an experience I could understand. I could never understand why a menstrual.
Messed up, yeah.
Sorry, y'all. Can y'all hear? Yeah, I know, cause my fucking. But go ahead. Sorry, I couldn't hear, but you can go ahead, Mr. Blanco.
Yeah, I was
I
just
last thing I heard
explaining
was
that.
you talking about you couldn't
Yeah,
even
I'm just
imagine the
explaining.
breast
Yeah,
coming in.
the experiences, right? Like um, just not having that shared experience with teenage girls. I knew that I wasn't of that.
So to me, I don't know if you finished talking because I
Yeah,
was
I'm
now.
finished. Yeah.
Hold on. To,
Oh,
go ahead, Lynn.
Um, and this is respectfully always, Blanco, and you can always correct me, but I just feel like even without being able to relate to those experiences, in a way, you can still relate to those experiences because um whether like you being able to understand it or not, it still kind of happened. Like you see what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that was
in a
what
way,
I was about
it's
to say.
still okay. Get out my head, twin.
Yeah, I was about to say, no, you experienced those things. You just didn't like maybe you didn't think that you should have, but you experienced those things because those things just happen to the female body. um and whether you relate to it or not doesn't matter, in the same way that some women do not relate to, like, if I think of a masculine woman or a stud, they don't relate to wearing pink girly things. It doesn't change that they experience, that their body is experiencing what it's experiencing, and it also doesn't change that this society is going to subjugate them based on it, whether they wear men's clothes or not. And the only thing that shifts that sometimes is when if that masculine woman takes that's what they be saying. And
And
that's where it's a different conversation. Go ahead, Lynn.
and to take it a step further, real quick, it's just like I can relate to women. I can relate. I can't understand it fully, but I can relate to women,
No, you cut off.
me being like a woman
Let me mute.
Wait.
and
Yeah.
knowing like,
Lynn, you cut off, you gotta start over.
wait, who me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I said in a way like to take it a step further, like I can relate to motherhood coming from the woman's perspective even though I'm not a mother, like, or I've never been a mother, like, I can relate. I'm not saying that I 100% know what it's like, but like, I can relate to motherhood more than a man who is a father can relate to motherhood. Like, he would still not understand what it's like being a woman, being a parent, even though he is a father who is a parent. Like, and I feel like women, childless women, can relate to it better than a man with a child.
Mm. But because of what? Because based off of you just strictly being a female.
Yeah, that's just my belief. I'm not saying it's nothing scientific about this shit, but I'm just saying that's just what I believe.
Um, yeah, and that could be something to do with the way that they assign certain roles to the female human, or it could be that if you have a cycle and somebody says, "Oh, it's like having cramps, but 10 times worse," it could be that. Or it could just simply be the way that we are told as women, you're supposed to be a mother who is nurturing and submissive. Like it could be a number of those things, but yeah, those things will come into play as to why a woman who doesn't have children will be able to relate to a woman who does. Because that's a part of the indoctrination of, hey, when you are a woman, you're supposed to do these things. Um, and that's the experience that I'm talking about. But I don't know if you want the response to that, but I wanted to, because you was mentioning about the queer women's spaces, and this is the way I had wanted to break it down in having this conversation as to why I think that it get muddy, because you're talking from a more typical space, and it could be because you're a black trans man. It could be that, but
What you mean by that?
because you're speaking of it like you're saying that you didn't feel like, you don't even want to, like you're saying that your experience before you transitioned was like you were you was
Something
a
other.
man trapped in
Yeah,
that body,
yeah,
right? Am
yeah,
I understanding? That's what you
yeah. Like
said.
I was a little boy. Yeah,
You was a
absolutely.
little boy in the
Yeah.
wrong body.
Like just being
Well,
in the girls' locker room, I'm like, I was just telling Shorty this yesterday or a couple of days ago. It felt so awkward being in there because I'm like, why am I in this space? Like I shouldn't be in here with people my age changing and they women and little girls. Like I need to be in the boys' locker room. Like this shit is weird, you know?
yeah, but and that's something that most people have like grown to understand with trans, is that it's supposed to be this separation, like you're like trans was understood by me specifically that a trans person was in the wrong body and had to transition. And whether I understood the feelings or not, that's what it was. But when we have these conversations, two things is well, multiple things are happening. There is this saying that sex and gender is different, but it's not. Based on what you said, sex and gender is not different. Your medical condition is your body parts was wrong. In the same way that a medical condition would be, if somebody came out with a deformed arm, that needed to be fixed as much as possible. To me, if a trans person say, "Oh, I was not supposed to be in this body," and you say it's a medical condition, oh, you're saying that you were supposed to have male parts and you didn't get them. But when people try to say that sex and gender is different, and that woman is not a female adult human, or man is not a male adult human, it gets weird, because based on what you're saying and how you recalled your experience, you were supposed to be a male adult human, and because there was something messed up that happened, you need to do medical things to fix
Interventions,
a
yes.
wrong.
The interventions,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So when
Yeah.
people argue against that, that's when it get nasty, and you might not be the person who would fall in that category. But when I go back to the trans men, this when it get funky. A trans man is saying that he wants to be, that cis women are transphobic for not letting him in the space because he a man. And his argument is, I'm not like those other men. I'm different because I was a man who used to be a woman. And then the argument on the other side is, trans women are just women because they've always been women. So trans women are women. It don't matter what their body parts are. They're women. They get to be in women's spaces. Now, wherever you fall, it don't matter. Something in the buttermilk ain't clean though, because why are trans men demanding to be in women's spaces because they was a woman, and trans women are in women's spaces because they always been women?
Yeah, so here's my take on that. Because I do have contention with specifically queer spaces, right? Um, women for women spaces, I don't care for. I don't want to be in that space. Um, but the queer space, for example, went to New York. They have a queer party, right? If you're labeling it as queer and everybody is invited, and in reality it's a woman for woman space, and I show up and you got a problem with me being there, um, it's trash behavior, right? Because to me, queer means everybody can come. When I start getting looks crazy, like, literally, I had to beg to be sat at a table to spend money for bottle service multiple times when I was in New York recently, um, because they don't like this is just my experience. They don't like the presence of someone looking male. And for me, I'm like, if this is a queer space, you would understand that uh, trans mass people will be here, GAY men will be here.
This man married this 6-year-old girl.
Wait, hold
Yo, you
on.
cool? You cool?
Lady.
Yeah,
You
I'm
got a
just
mute. What the
yeah.
hell?
Um.
Uh,
So yeah. So being like I'm forced out of that space when it's supposed to be for everybody is problematic for me. Because for me, I've helped put in equity into that community, and to now feel like, this is just my experience, feel like I'm pushed out because of how male presenting I am, is trash.
Okay, so that was the conversation that a lot of them was having, and I think that it's interesting because to me it's a non-problem, and the reason why I say that is because women, there is like this missing of how women feel about masculine and mean, like, and how uncomfortable it is. And if you're a passing trans man and you tell me that you are a trans man, what you gonna do to, like, how are we gonna check that? You gonna show me pictures? Are you gonna show me your, like, what are you gonna do to prove that you're not a cis man saying that you're a trans man and you're actually a trans man? One. But then the other thing is, based on what you said earlier, you've never, like, you were in the wrong body and you've always had these thoughts that put you on the track to being like a regular man. And you even said yourself that you had to unlearn, as of late, had to unlearn some of the hyper masculine and misogynistic, like the damaging misogynistic stuff. So I think that when you break it down like that, like, I guess it's not the nicest thing that people would say queer spaces, but they really mean women's spaces. But I think it's like it's a level of entitlement that a trans man who's passing, which is the goal, not because you want to be like men, but because you were supposed to be like men. Your existence was supposed to be this. It's like saying, "Oh, I helped build this, and I should be a part of it," but you're gonna make people uncomfortable. Like, your existence is going to make people uncomfortable because you are a man. And if I am validating you, you've been a man. Even if you walked around as a quote unquote woman, you was a man the whole time. And you ain't had no business being in spaces when you was a woman, quote unquote. Like, you shouldn't have been there because you were never supposed to be there. So that's why I'm like, it's confusing.
Well,
So you
if I can just
exist.
rebuttal, her service is bad. You breaking up?
Your service messed up, Lynn.
Yeah. So the reason why I was in those
Hello?
spaces previously is because I didn't have the terminology to say, um, I'm a trans man, right? And also within those spaces, dominated by women, but there were also G for G men, right? Um, so when I say I help put in equity into those communities, it's I've helped build those relationships, not based off the fact of it being a woman for woman space, but me finding, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, me being comfortable in those spaces to say, okay, I don't align with this woman for woman couple that's dancing next to me, but I know me being Blanco, I'm safe here, right? Um, so then again, when I go back to present day, where my problem is, stop saying the space is queer. Because if you understood the history of queer, you would know that queer is an umbrella term, and that there are queer men, there are queer women, there are queer non-binary people. So if you're labeling the place as such, then why are you giving me crazy looks if this is a queer party?
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just I just want to add something too, and it kind of falls in line with what Mia was saying. The reason why Blanco is because of intersectionality, and as it exists in the queer community, a woman for woman space is just that. It's woman for woman, and even though you are woman for woman queer space, because that would be wrong me as if I was a cis hetero woman going into a woman for woman space as a hetero woman, and being there, and every woman who tries to hit on me, talk to me, if I'm guessing it's a social gathering to meet people, to to congregate relationally. And I'm like, no, I'm not that, like, I don't swing that way. And it's like, what the fuck you doing here then? It's still an intersection. I fit the woman for woman, but I also don't fit the queer. So like I don't have no business there. And if they said this is just a queer space, this is a queer space, woman for woman, I wouldn't be offended being like a hetero person, because this space isn't for me.
Right.
I think that hold on, let me finish real quick. I think that a trans man, like Mia said, if you always existed as a man from the time that you were a little boy, or you were supposed to be a little boy, then you were never supposed to be in that space. You were never supposed to be in space that is held only for women, because with that said, like a little boy in a girl's locker room is going to be overjoyed. He's going to be happy because of the way that society and boys look at girls and automatically sexualize them. So it wouldn't be that your existence is inappropriate or dislike, it would be that your presence, because this space is reserved for a certain people, and their presence would be required. I wouldn't be in the way that I believe like trans men are men. I wouldn't want trans men changing with me in a locker room or in a dressing room, because to me, you existing as a man means that you are sexualizing, lusting, looking at my body in a certain way, and that would just be inappropriate, and it would make me feel uncomfortable as a woman, like somebody who could possibly have an attraction to me wanting or lusting or looking at my body. Inappropriate. If that were the case, then we need to mix all dynamics, like, because that just because a white man wouldn't be attracted to me as a black woman, that don't mean I would want him and like looking at me.
Yeah, no,
Go
I
ahead.
do, but I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. I I don't go to women for women queer spaces. If they say queer and they say everybody is invited on the flyer, then that's my invitation to say, or to receive, that this is going to be a safe space to me, right? But when I get there and it's just a bunch of studs and femme presenter people with a sprinkle of G for G man, I'm concerned because I'm like, well, how did we get here if you're saying that this is a queer space?
So you're arguing about the label, but even if I even like take the quick like that out of it before you answer that. To me, saying like labeling them as like bad or labeling them in a negative way is a problem I'm having with it, because it to me is just a grieving of not being of the space being not what you thought it was going to be, which would have been more welcoming to you, right? Whether you felt welcome or they made you feel welcome, whatever. Because you're saying you don't go for women spaces, but you would go to a space that's more mixed. So if you are thinking that the space is going to be mixed and it's not, then it's grieving this not feeling welcome. Okay, cool. But it's not a bad thing, and I think that it's being labeled as making it seem like cis women, whether they labeled it wrong or not, like they said it was a queer space, even though it wasn't a mixed queer space. Whether you think that that's wrong or not, which I don't, because lesbians and bisexual sexual women are queer. Women who are pansexual are queer. Because
Mm.
to me, if they label it queer, then that opens up for me. Because if they only have it a woman for woman space, then I might be intruding. It need to be labeled a queer space because queer don't look the same for everybody. And it
Right.
would be, I'm queer because I fall in a unique space. So am I, but when you said that it was safe, like you felt safe before you had the language for it, you felt safe, then that tells me another part of it. The way that women, cis women, get held to certain standards or can be crucified or can be people can wag their finger at us, um, but and then make it seem like there's something wrong if we get something wrong, like it's such a big deal that it needs to be like this is like 20 people made a video, 20 trans men made a video, kind of with your same sentiments about it. It's funny because the other part of it is you feel safe with women
Yeah,
because
that was
women are safer than men. Men are cis men are the ones who are dangerous, but they don't never have to face the criticism that women face. Even if you put queer in front of it, it's weird. But Sarah, go
Well,
ahead.
no.
so my question.
Hold on, because
My
I just
Look, I
want to
had a
make sure.
question. That way you can like. All
Yeah, I
right.
just want to make sure that you heard correct. When I talk about how I was in those spaces before, I mentioned that G Man were in there too, but just a sprinkle of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that it was an all women space and I felt comfortable. It was women for women and also G for G Man in that space before I knew the
Mm.
labeling, and I knew that regardless of me not having the terminology, I knew that I could be me in that space.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You get
Okay.
what I'm saying? So it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
just like especially in West Hollywood, right? I felt safe out there, right? Being on Santa Monica, because I knew I could be me out here, and I didn't have to, you know, meet these expectations of
Mm-hmm.
a teenage quote unquote girl. So I just want to make sure
Gotcha.
we clear on that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um,
My bad, Tara.
no, you good. Cause my question is and I'll make this specific to trans men because I know you were saying that the reason you felt like you didn't belong, you didn't feel like belong in that space or whatever, and maybe in your eyes you'd have been more comfortable in the boys' locker room. But then my question is, if you're saying you're a man, right? Is it different for a trans man than a cisgender man? Because why would a man want to be in a woman's space, period? Why wouldn't a man want to be in a man's space? If that makes sense.
No, I don't. I don't understand. Can you?
Because
No,
you
he's saying that he wasn't saying he felt comfortable in queer spaces before, but in this particular queer space, it was mainly um women,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
cis
I'm saying.
queer
I'm saying
women.
that's what I'm saying. What's the difference between the women who were in the girls who were in the locker room that you felt uncomfortable with versus the cisgender women in this certain space? Why is one uncomfortable and the other one comfortable is what I'm trying to get to.
No, I know that my maleness makes women uncomfortable. I'm like that doesn't fly over me. Um, and women have every right to feel uncomfortable with their feelings about me, right? But you walked into the situation also knowing that this was a queer space. So why does the burden completely fall on me?
But it must be this why I'm confused because you said it was a sprinkle of G for G men in there. So are you saying it's the masculinity because trans men have a is it that trans men are coming off as cis het men and that's the complaint? Or is it that because it can't be just the masculinity? Because if it was G for G men in there, then it sounded like it was still a queer space. It was studs, femmes, and a few G for G men. So is it that you feel like because you're so masculine that it gives off the impression that you're not a part of the community?
Yes,
Like that's what
yes,
I'm trying to figure
yes,
out.
yes. Because I walk like a nigga, I talk like a nigga, I smell like a nigga, my beard like, so yeah, I think it's that. I think I don't fit into their box of what masculinity looks like because the G for G men in there, a lot of them would be super flamboyant, almost to signal like I'm safe, right?
Okay,
Like I
but
don't
then
no smoke here.
so well then that would make sense. And then for me, it's like yeah, if there is, because you understand that when it's convenient, and what I mean by that is you feel safer amongst queer folk because you know that cis hetero folk could be dangerous. No, cis hetero men are dangerous. So if if women are in a queer space and they can't, there's no way to determine, and it really doesn't matter if they determine it, because respecting who you are is acknowledging that you've always been a cis hetero man, and that there was medical things that prevented you experiencing your life to the fullest that you fit, but you were always who you were, and the indoctrination is going to land on you how it lands on you. And the unsafe part is not that cis hetero men are inherently evil, or it's in their DNA that they're evil. The fear with cis hetero men is that they have been indoctrinated in such a way that makes them dangerous, and I don't want them in my space. So without having to make assumptions and dehumanize who you are, if you throw a red flag because you pass as a cis hetero man, I don't think, I think that it's uncomfortable, but I don't think there's no way to fix it unless queer women have to then change and say, I have to be careful at how I push away cis men because they might be trans men. And that's too much of a burden to put on women who marginalize. It's just too much to have to
It's a
say,
risk more than a burden.
yeah, that's too well. It's a risk that I don't think need to be taken. Like I'm not about to say this man look like he a cis hetero man, and I ain't about to take a chance on dealing with him catcalling, saying something inappropriate, making me uncomfortable, triggering me in a space that I am able to relax, because I know ain't nobody who I don't want to say nothing gonna say nothing in this space. I ain't about to be saying, oh shoot, I can't be like that. Because what if he is a trans man who just passed well? And that's the role that women have had to play in this society so much. We end up being people pleasers, and we end up in so many ways submitting to, or put ourselves on the back burner because we supposed to be a safe space for everybody. And that's what it sounds like to me. And I'm only saying that because you said literally what those trans men were saying. Like you said pretty much the same thing they're saying, and it frustrates me because no, I'm sorry, you don't get, you don't, without me putting myself in compromising positions, you don't get to be a different type of man. You got to be able to be just a man. And they said that was malgendering. And I don't like that either. That's not fair. Like that ain't
So,
fair.
but okay, so like, but 10 minutes ago, I said that your feelings are valid with how you look at me, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I'm asking for is to understand that one, I'm not hetero, I'm queer, right? Um, and two, understanding the history and the dynamic of trans men being in queer spaces. That's all I'm asking. You want to look at me crazy? Look at me crazy. I can't do nothing about it, right? But to feel like I'm now forced out of this space is, I don't know. I struggle with that.
I get and I understand the struggle, but let me ask you this: how can queer women or cis women do that without you saying that you are a trans man, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you, like, where does the conversation come? Because if you come in the door and I'm looking at you sideways and that's what makes you uncomfortable, it's because you're like, why are y'all looking at me sideways? I belong here. I'm a trans man. I'm not a cis hetero man. And that's fine, right? But the problem is that that means that's one thing, but it makes me think about the trans experience is is based in just it's weird how trans men want to make sure we understand the trans come first so that they're not lumped in with men. In certain ways they're not lumped in with men, but trans women do not want the trans part attached. They want to simply be women regardless. So that's why it's like both of those things are geared towards women, or spaces where women are going to be. And it's understandable in the trans woman space. They wanna be validated and affirmed in their identity. But when trans men are like, hold on, make sure you put the trans in front of it so you don't lump me up with men. It's like it's just confusing. I understand the uncomfortableness for a trans man, but it's like this a lot of pressure to navigate. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and that's why, like, half the time when I'm in those spaces, one, I always have a shorty on my wrist, right? So then they know that I'm not going in there um scoping the scene. And then two, whenever a female presenting person come up to our table, I always let shorty lead the conversation, right? Like, because I understand my maleness can be uncomfortable for certain women in
No,
those
not the seller.
spaces.
The AP office.
So I get that part, right? So I do move accordingly in that space. And the only time I want to, if you want to say, broadcast my transness is in that space, but every other space I don't broadcast anything. Matter of fact, I don't say I'm trans until a woman comes up to our table and they want to have conversations with shorty, and then they figure out who I am, right? Like, so I don't lead in that space of like, I'm a trans man, I'm a trans man, I'm a trans man. I lead in the space of I'm a nigga first and foremost, and if you want to engage with me and my shorty, then this is the layout.
Okay. I I understand, like, I understand what you're saying. I just think that I just still think that is just strange. Cause like cause what I'm hearing is like, I don't want to broadcast that I'm trans. And as a man, it would make sense because the whole thing is like being stealth or being able to navigate life and be normal and not have to like do all these jumping through hurdles is important, right? You don't need to be walking around like I'm a trans man when you navigate in spaces where men supposed to be. But on the flip side, it's important, like, but it can be broadcasted in the queer spaces where it's going to be women there because it's a way to make sure that whether it's an intentional way or not, but it's like, hey, it's almost like a flag of like, I'm safe. And I also, or even if it's not, I'm saying I'm trans in this space because I'm letting you know I'm safe. Or it could be the opposite. I could say I'm trans in this space because it's safe for me to be trans in this space. And to me, the reason why I think it's important to point out and make it about women is because women are saved. Like, generally speaking, women are saved. And the ways in which we have these conversations, we know women are saved. It's dangerous for trans women to go to the men's bathroom, even if they are early in their transition and they don't have any medical, and they haven't medically transitioned, or they haven't fully, or they haven't been on their medical transition journey for long. It's safer for them to be in the bathroom with women because women are safer. But then they get to wag their finger at us if we don't get everything right. Cis women, specifically, queer and all. And trans men are safer being their authentic self and expressing themselves amongst women than they would be if they was the broadcast they was trans around cis men. But they still get the way they finger at us if we don't get everything exactly right. And that's why I say it's misogynistic, and it's so misogynistic that we don't even recognize it. It goes unnoticed because both groups, both trans men and trans women, get to sit cis women at a table and go through a list of things and ways they need to behave and how they need to act and how they need to deal with stuff, especially in connection with them, whilst the men get to move around because they're too dangerous to even confront. It's too dangerous to even confront men. So although I understand why you do it and it makes sense, I just want it to be understood we're in a crazy place when we think that we could talk to women who are experiencing the patriarchy, who are having their rights that's specific to them and their existence, and in all of the things that they may be getting wrong, they may not be able to figure everything out right. They might not have the right interaction with you as a trans man wanting to be in a queer space. That might not be right, but your real danger comes from the me, because you gotta hide a big part of yourself that could be a beautiful truth, that could be a beautiful thing to share, because them niggas is dangerous. And the worst thing that you deal with when you come in contact with queer women is that they being catty, maybe they being shady. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know, that's where my um aggravation and my need to have these conversations come from, because um to me it's just another layer of misogyny, because
Yeah,
it's weird.
I don't put the burden on cis women completely. Um, so just so we're on the same page, my contention is not entirely uh with cis women, right? I don't expect you to piece together all of my problems. Like I mentioned before, I just have a problem with labeling a party me because I think it's a marketing mechanism, where you want to just collect money, right? Because if you label it as one thing, you're not gonna get as much coins as you want to in that space. And rather than you just saying that it's a woman for woman space, and I be about my business and go spend my money elsewhere, um, you feel me? Just be upfront about it. I don't have to spend thousands of dollars with you in a party. I can go do it somewhere else. But you labeling it as queer, I'm like, all right, cool. Then everybody's invited.
Yeah, hey guys. I'm just gonna actually go off of what is it? Blanco, what you just said. I do agree that people that are trans should upfront tell people that they're trans. I think it can be dangerous just even for themselves in
When
today's
you say
world.
that,
Sorry?
What you talking about?
Yeah,
No.
how we get to that conversation?
Yeah. So, but anyway, I just was going off of what you said. But I actually, what kind of intrigued me was
No,
the
I
Nah,
got you,
that's yeah,
Jana.
that
Because
shit.
I don't like when people anyway, because that's
The
one of
fucking
my biggest
weird
pet peeves.
shit.
You ain't gonna anyway me. I don't care if you're doing it with proxy or trying to get at Mr. Blanco. I don't give a fuck about that.
That's crazy.
Um,
That's some weird shit on my mama,
and
bro.
I
We wasn't
and
even
I want
talking
to
about it.
make this clear, very clear, emphatically clear. And this where I don't agree with this about you, Mr. Blanco, when it relates to relationships, but I do think that it's important when you just talking about cis men in general. Trans women, no matter how I feel about them or where I'm leaning in my life as I'm unpacking some things, they don't need to disclose a motherfucking thing to thirsty niggas who chasing them around,
I disagree.
literally chasing them around. Hold on, I'm talking. I'm talking. If a man approaches women in the way that they harass us women and they walk up to us, and you already in danger when a nigga think he can walk up to you and talk to you and you minding your business, you don't need to tell them a motherfucking thing. Cause ain't nothing gonna happen but you gonna get harmed. And again, I understand why trans men will want to be very cautious about what they disclose when they in a space with me, because these niggas is dangerous. So disclosing is not the conversation we having unless we get into intimate spaces. But that's a whole nother conversation. I just want to make it clear that that's not what we talking about. And I be sick of y'all wanting to have conversation about things that are less important when I want to unpack why the fuck is misogyny so rampant we can't even see it. But I wanted to make it clear this ain't that type of space. This ain't that type of party. I came here to dance and that's it. But
You girls believe in misogyny.
hold on, cause you want to move the conversation, and I seen that you came back up, but
I'm
I
not
wanna
moving
tell
the
you what's.
conversation. You're talking about misogyny.
No, no,
I'm
no.
answering back.
We're having a specific conversation about trans men and misogyny.
Yeah, I can
And
have that
if you don't
conversation.
believe misogyny is a real thing, then that's gonna take the conversation to us arguing about misogyny
No,
and if it's
that's not
real or
what I was.
not
That's not what I
and
was
who
saying.
participate in it. All right, so misogyny is a thing, and women participate in misogyny too.
Exactly.
So we got that out the way. Okay, so now that's done. So now we can get back to why trans men are misogynistic and trans women are misogynistic. And then we could talk about it because we had the conversation about what role women play in it. We talk about the quote unquote pygmies and problematic women all the time. But right now, that's what we're talking about. That's why we got Mr. Blanco up here and we talked to him about something specific. But I know this person is Dory. You came up and you said it's not safe to confront men, but it's safe to confront trans men. No, the real question is why do trans men feel it's safe to confront women and they don't want to confront men? That's the real question, not the other way around. Why trans men feel comfortable checking cis women or queer women, cis women, but they don't feel comfortable challenging men who cause all the problems, especially amongst men. And
You're
trans men are
asking me?
men.
You're
Yeah,
asking
because
me?
I'm asking you because you try to flip what we were talking about. So I want to know why do you think that trans men don't confront men, but they
Um,
confront women, queer women or cis women?
I don't really like. I don't know. I can't answer that. I'm not trans. I don't know if I can answer that question.
So then, so are you a woman?
No,
So why did you say that why do you think you can comment on women confronting trans men or men?
I
Because that's
didn't.
women's
I was
business.
asking a question because you said that
Yeah.
because you said we got to look out for these niggas, right?
Yeah. And you sound like the niggas we gotta look out for, but go on.
I mean that's fine. Like I would be because I'm a man though. This is the thing though, right? If you see trans men as men, right?
Right.
So how would they not apply to that then?
Apply to what?
You said we got to look out for these niggas. They would be
Oh,
included in
because
that.
no, trans men say that they're a different type of man. I'm saying that I'm looking at trans men like they in the danger zone, like I look at cis men.
Oh,
Trans
okay.
men say that they different men.
So you
Trans
do
men
then.
are saying that.
So you do look at them the same then.
Yeah, they the
Oh, then
same.
there's no contention then.
Yeah,
No.
but the reason why the
But the problem. Hold
conversation
on. Hold
is
on. Hold
shift.
on.
Go ahead, Blanco.
He's being disingenuous because he don't see trans.
How?
Hold on, because there's a reason why I got you blocked, Dory. He don't see trans men as men. I don't. So you being disingenuous up here. Well, this is
Like
not about my. This is about how she
be
sees it,
so
though.
fucking for real, my nigga.
This is what she said, though, not me. I like she said that she sees you as a man. So if that's the case, then it would be you too. Then not like there's no. I'm just making sure it's fair for both ends.
You too, they them. It's you
That's
too.
fine. Yeah, for sure.
What's
Like
up,
I
Sus?
yeah,
What's up?
that makes sense though.
May I just come in here and speak to the host for
Can't
like
believe.
point 0.3
Hold
seconds?
on. You skipped Lonnie, and Lonnie is one of our good friends. So
No, I'm about to drop
Hey.
out of the panel.
What's up,
That's
Ronnie?
it. I
Uh,
just
The answer is no.
oh,
You can wait or you go. We don't want to hear it. You can mute up. What's up, Lonnie?
Damn.
Hey, boo. How are you?
hey, Lonnie.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. How you doing,
I'm good, girl. Getting ready for work. um,
girl?
I
Dropped or
mean,
y'all dropped her? Why you
She,
dropping?
I
Oh, she
didn't drop
dropped.
her. She
I
Oh.
think
dropped,
she
but she can
dropped.
come. She can come back up she was after Lonnie. But go ahead, Lonnie.
um, well, I feel like we talked about this already, but I feel like we talking more specifically about like just trans men and how they
Mm-hmm.
perpetuate. Oh shit, girl, it's raining, so it's lightning or something. Um, I think we talking about how trans men and how they perpetuate misogyny, or just trans people how they perpetuate misogyny. We
Mm-hmm.
touched on trans women a lot the last time that we talked, so I'm not going to speak on that one again.
Hold on. Yeah, it wasn't
Um,
supposed to be. It was supposed to be about the men, but it got shifted. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna focus on the trans women, but as far as the trans men tidbit, I don't know. I mean, I guess I wanted to like hear everybody's perspectives a little bit more, and then I'll add some commentary. Because as of now, I'm just kind of like a little lost, a little bit, like just a little bit.
Well, so the reason why this conversation came up and the reason why we want to talk to Mr. Blanco is that trans men have been talking about cis women being harmful to them and how cis women are causing them so much grief. And some of the
Mm-hmm.
examples was similar to what Mr. Blanco said, like not feeling welcome in queer women's spaces. And another example was that it's transphobic to have a height requirement because trans men are short. And I thought that those were,
I don't subscribe to that.
yeah,
Hold on. Like, I just want to let you know I don't subscribe to that. So,
yeah, I know you
Mm-hmm.
had said that last
yeah,
time.
yeah,
Because you
Yeah.
tall. Are you
Oh, well, I will
tall?
say, okay, I actually do kind of want to talk about something there.
Okay.
So for me personally, I feel like one of my biggest um qualms I feel like is very similar to I feel like how sometimes trans women, excuse me, tend to cling onto their spaces that they kind of derived from in a way. Like a lot of trans women tend to cling on to gay spaces, and they're still kind of welcome, semi welcomed, but they just don't fit in as much as they used to. I feel like a lot of trans men internalize that as far as queer women spaces because ultimately you've transitioned, like you're trans mask now. So while yes, to some extent, you can relate to the previous experience, you don't necessarily have a place in that space anymore because you are a man. So I don't really understand why trans men or trans people, but specifically trans men, are so frustrated when they are not welcomed into WLW spaces anymore because at that point you're not even a woman anymore. Um, and so it is kind of bothersome to me. And I feel like sometimes I feel like trans men have their own complete different language about trans men have their own complete different language about them, their sexuality, their identities as far as being trans mask because you got this whole he him lesbian thing. Like you have like a bunch of kind of language that to me is kind of redundant and is counterintuitive to what it actually means to be trans. And so I'm very interested to see what Mr. Blanco even feels about that. Because for me, I feel like it's very counterintuitive as a trans person to even want to associate with that side of you or feel like you need to be included in something that has nothing to do with you. And I feel like wanting to be forced or force your way into those spaces as a man once you transition is inherently misogynistic.
yeah. Just so we have a baseline, Lonnie. I don't know if he was in here earlier.
And then I'm gonna respond after you, Mr.
Yeah,
Blanco,
I
to
don't.
clarify something.
I don't. I make it my business to not be in women for women spaces. Because it's uncomfortable for me, it's uncomfortable for them, and I'm not gonna find the person that I'm looking for in that space, right? My contention is you calling it a queer space and saying that everybody is welcome here, and now I'm looked at like I'm crazy, like I'm not supposed to be in this space. As far as the trans man lesbian conversation, I will unalive on this hill. Liberation looks different for everybody, and if that's how they want to align, and if that's how they want to honor them previous self, because we're not a monolith, right? My experience, like I was talking to the host a couple of minutes ago, was very different as a little boy, right? As a little kid, as a trans kid. But some trans men, not all, want to acknowledge that piece of them. And if that's what they choose to do, then that's what they choose to do. So you might the trans man can be lesbian conversation. You might need somebody else up here for that. But I'm a firm believer that liberation looks different for everybody.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Lonnie. Go ahead and I'll respond to it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely can kind of understand that standpoint from a progressive, a little bit of a radical kind of deconstructive gender perspective. But I don't know. I feel like it's for me, I don't necessarily feel like that more or less lines with being trans mask. I feel like that identifies more or less with being non binary. So I guess
Mm-hmm.
that's more kind of along the spectrum. I just wish people would stop conflating gender nonconformity and transness because the two are not the same. They're very much exclusive. Um, for me personally, I feel like there are some things that non-binary or gender non-conforming people can understand, but there's a lot that I feel like they can't. And I'm not a trans medicalist, but I do feel like the self-proclamation of being a trans person and standing within that is completely different than somebody who kind of bends with gender. So I mean, I guess I'll just agree to disagree on that standpoint because that's just not something me
And
personally
I
that
want
I
to
feel.
add this. I want to add
Mm-hmm.
this too, because the issue that comes to me is that being a woman, like being a woman and existing as a woman is like you get to be scapegoated. And I'm speaking about cis women specifically. Cis women get to be scapegoated in this conversation about gender and sexuality because why would trans men, like, to me, think about it like this. I've had an issue with trans women weaponizing trans men as it relates to like what experience women talking about. Like I don't think you can weaponize a trans man when I'm talking about my experience as a woman and how we have our like the body of women, female humans have been under attack, up for display, objectified in this society. I'm talking about that, and you shut me up by saying, "Well, trans men experience that too." That's a problem for me. So when trans men come in and say, "Well, we could be lesbians and we want to still hold on to who we were before," and we get to have a say so, we get to put our pussy on the table, and I'm saying that intentionally because that's what they saying. We get to put our pussy on the table and dictate to you what you got going on because you ain't the only one with a pussy. And then trans women not come in like, oh my gosh, I was born in the wrong body. They come in like, oh, well, we gonna come up in here and we gonna tell y'all what womanhood is supposed to be, and you don't get to say womanhood is this because womanhood is that. It's weird to me because it brings the conversation, generally speaking, the conversation gets to be, hey, women, you don't really get to have a voice because anybody could be you. Anybody could be a woman if they say so, and anybody can have your body if they say so. So men can have babies and women can come in and say that they women if they say that they are. And that's problematic because to the trans men, if you're supposed to be a man, then why are you even coming over here talking to us? Go over there with the men stuff and figure out how you're going to navigate your existence as a man who happened to be born in the wrong body. Because we already got trans women in our ear arguing, saying that I was born in the wrong body. Don't worry about what my genitals are. Just know that I'm a woman. And you also want to be in our face. It's crazy. And then with trans women, why are you yelling at me? If you were born in the wrong body, why are you not coming into the community in the same way that women who can't have children come into the community? Women who have that intersex thing where their body didn't develop properly, or women who are just infertile due to PCOS or whatever, they not saying, oh well, we're gonna switch up what womanhood is and we're gonna ignore that we don't have to worry about birthing rights or what it means to have a baby in a hospital because bitch, I can't have a baby, so I don't give a fuck about that. We're gonna focus on this. They just come in and say, okay, well, all of us women need to come to the table. Like, I don't know why that isn't the conversation.
Yeah, I get it. You
You get what I'm
from a,
saying?
yeah, like from a cis woman perspective, you're tired of being the catch-all, right? And let me, for the folks that's listening, the what I believe is the trans men who say they can be lesbians, they are radical gender abolitionists. They don't adhere to a lot of the things, and it kind of goes back to Lonnie's point where they're gender non-conforming. A lot of them are gender non-conforming, and they live in a world where the quote unquote rules that we live by, they care nothing of, right? Their existence is to break down the social norms of what man and woman is, right? So that's why I say I want to stay away from that conversation because I don't live in that world, but I also understand that I'm not the dictator or the arbiter of freedom, right? And then if that their liberation looks like that for them, so be it. I'm trying to get my piece over here.
But we could have that conversation, but it can't be absent of trans women or gay men. Like you can't say that trans men are lesbians and then trans women who still have their bottoms because it's lucrative and because it's pleasurable, and for whatever reason, as a trans loving girl myself, I'm glad that don't be the dysphoria. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm glad that they ain't your point of contention, so to speak. But even with that being said, then they are gay when they deal with me, and they straight when they deal with me, and I wouldn't give a fuck. Call me a hamster, but we gotta have that honest conversation. But we don't.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
that's where the confusion.
real quick. And just like I told this buster down here, there's a reason why I have y'all blocked. So if you going out of your way to at me in the conversation in the comments, I'm encouraging you to stop before I put black and white on you.
I
Enough
have
is
no
enough.
idea what you're talking about. Like, I literally am just sitting here
No,
being quiet.
well, if the shoe fits, then the shoe fits,
I'm
right?
just sitting
But
here being
I'm
quiet.
telling
What are
it
you
to the
talking
goofies in the
about?
comments, right? There's a reason why I got you blocked. So if you want black and white paper on you, that can happen too.
What does that even mean?
For those who know, no.
Okay, yeah, you're really intimidating. Yeah. Anyways.
The goal was not to intimidate, it was to be very
Okay,
clear.
thanks, Blanco. Thanks.
For
Shit.
sure, nigga. What are we talking about?
For sure. Oh my gosh, you're so cringy.
Explain to me because this baffles the heck out of me, and I've been trying to think about it. And like I know that Lonnie, very educated woman, and Blanco, very educated man, can explain this to me, but I do not want them to. Dory, how can
Yes, babe.
somebody who is they them
I'm
non-binary
not
try?
non-binary.
So what are you you trolling in your
Yeah,
bio?
for sure, yeah. Just because you put pronouns on the bio does not mean you're that.
I mean, well, that's stupid. All right,
It's
you
just the
got
gay
it.
man, girl. It's just the gay
Literally,
man.
Lonnie is correct. Lonnie is
It's just the gay
correct.
But
man.
still, even that being said, like, what you ready to bash down on somebody because people is bashing down on you?
What did I say about anyone
No,
up
oh,
here?
hold on,
Because
Lee.
to
I don't
me,
think
it
that's
seemed
what.
like you
I
antagonist.
don't
Like,
think
You,
that's.
I literally have said nothing, like, at
No, Lee.
all.
I don't. I think. Hold on. I don't think that's what it is. Which I don't know yet. I know that there's something obviously going on with Mr. Blanco, and I know Mr. Blanco. So I'm just kind of. I'm like inclined to lean to where he coming from because I am familiar with him. But on the flip side, I ain't the trolling aspect ain't that big of a deal because when you in them spaces, a lot there is a way that people like, for example, Hardy says he's a they them, and he ain't nothing but a trans attracted cis man. But he say he they them to make himself seem like he marginalized too. Like
Well, how do
like
you
he
know
got a like
that?
skin in the game.
How
So
do you recognize non-binary people as, like, as valid?
I I don't
no litmus
understand
test for it.
I don't
I'm
understand.
just
Like,
asking
hold
because,
on,
like,
when you say hold
yeah.
on, when you say hold on, let me be clear. When you say valid, I don't like that word choice because it brings us to arguing dumb shit. And again, I sit in these spaces too much, and it'd be a whole bunch of arguing about dumb stuff. We not about to argue about over here. We ain't gonna argue about what a female, what a male is. We ain't about to be arguing about petty stuff because you know exactly what you're talking about. We're gonna get straight to the meat and potatoes. A non-binary person, if a person want to go by they them, I don't understand that, but obviously non-binary people exist because they say they exist. They be
Yeah.
claiming it. I don't mind it, but do I think that people weaponize the term non-binary because it's a safe way for them to be in the spaces that they would not, that they otherwise would not be in, but they get to be in there and just be regular? Yes, people can put. I can say I'm non-binary right now and call me they them and it and slim, but that would be me playing. So when what I was the only
Not
point
really.
is,
Not really.
Well, I feel
well,
like
not
there's
really.
two
Hold
different
on,
perspectives.
Not
Lonnie.
really. It
Hold
would
on,
be
Hold
Lonnie.
on, let
valid.
Lynn,
Hold
because I'm
on.
responding to Lynn really, but go ahead,
But
Lynn, you can
the
respond.
reason why I said that is because like Dory, you trolling with your bio, which like Mia said, whatever. But like, what are you coming up here to add? Because it seems like you have came up here to add nothing but to
The
antagonize
host
the
actually
trans
requested me up.
people.
The host actually requested me up here, and I literally have been quiet the whole time. Like I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, okay, so you don't got nothing to add.
I mean,
Because I
I
asked him
yeah, the host,
I
but
asked him a
yeah,
question. I did ask him a specific question about what he was saying, but it seems like Dory haven't got a chance to even respond to the prompt yet because I didn't like what he was saying in the comments, and that's what made me bring him up here because I didn't like what he was saying, but we didn't elaborate on it because Mr. Blanco addressed some stuff, and then Lonnie came up here. But when it comes to the trolling in the bio, I mean, I be trolling in my bio, so that's why I was like, my bio really is my bio say I'm a male men's advocate. That's why I was like, I don't know if the
But
trolling is a big
there's a
deal
difference
because
though.
I be trolling in my bio.
Yeah, that's a difference, shorty. You troll, and this Buster goes around invalidating people and
oh
talking
my gosh,
crazy, and
you're
I'm
very
like,
sensitive, Blanco.
nah, I'm
Okay, so
not
maybe that's
sensitive.
what Lynn. So maybe so
Yeah,
that's what.
that's
Yeah,
Okay, so
I'm
I
not.
see. So that's what
Don't
Lynn.
gaslight.
you're
That's
very
what Lynn is
sensitive.
getting at.
Yeah,
Okay, twin. Now I see where you
yeah,
getting at.
yeah.
You getting into.
Don't do
She getting
that.
into
Don't
a bigger
gaslight
picture.
me.
My bad,
Yeah,
I don't
twin.
know
I
what
see
right.
you're
what you're
talking
doing.
about, Blanco.
But
Yeah,
can
I
I
don't
yeah,
even know
say
who you
something?
are.
Can I say
yeah.
something though?
Yeah,
I feel
hold
like
on, y'all. Yeah, go ahead. I just want to see where Lynn. Now I get where Lynn coming from. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Lynn. I got it.
But what I was gonna say is sometimes like people like Dory coming up here, so like because for me trans men are men, but also this is super interesting when we have this larger conversation about misogyny because to someone like Dory, trans men are not men. And so in a way he sees trans men, trans people not as who they are, but specifically my biggest issue that I have with people like Dory is that they tend to antagonize trans men and they'll use their misogyny, their internalized misogyny, to then antagonize them on all of these spaces on TikTok. Like I can tell you a multitude of men who do not believe that trans men are men, and so they'll follow them into spaces, get on these panels, and then use all of these misogynistic dog whistles to then use that against trans men. So in a way, it's like the what sometimes people like Dory are doing is extremely misogynistic, and them even having a platform on these lives is harmful because while yes,
How did I do any of that? Like, what are
well,
you talking? I didn't. I was
you're up here calling
quiet.
him
I've been
sensitive. You up
quiet
here
the whole
using all
time,
of these
dude.
different dog whistles about women and femininity, even though Mr. Blanco is a man. You're
What did
still
I say
using
about?
that to him
I
because you
didn't
don't
say
deem him
anything
to
about
be a man.
Blanco,
You just
dude.
called him. You just
But
called him a
Lonnie,
man. You just called him a
Blanco's been
man,
Lonnie,
though.
talking shit to me. I haven't said anything to
Lonnie,
Blanco.
Dory is a
Don't.
troll all the way around. Because if you look in the
Yeah.
comments, he said, he made a comment. So it's safe to confront men, but it's not safe to confront trans
I was
men.
asking the
Like,
host a
Exactly. That's what I'm
question.
saying.
but
I feel
but
like sometimes
but
they're
I'm saying like Dory is the type of man who would even deny the fact that probably GAY men can be misogynistic and harmful to women.
that's
How
what
is
I'm
that? How does
saying.
that even make sense? Of course, you can be. You're a man. You can be misogynistic to a woman. It doesn't matter if you're gay or not. There's a lot of gay men who are misogynistic to women. What are you talking about? Like what? Like
Understanding why, like, okay, never mind.
yeah. Like what
All
are you
right,
saying
well,
right
let
now?
Dory speak first. I don't want to center the conversation around him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Would you
Let's
like
not
to
do
respond
but
to the
that.
prompt, Dory?
we have to be genuine about Dory's past, right? And his
Oh my gosh,
reputation
Blanco.
on these. No, it's not.
Well,
Oh my
what's no?
gosh.
What's the reputation,
Yeah,
Blanco? What is it?
that
So
you.
hold on, wait. So I don't
Yeah.
think that you're a man, Blanco. So what now?
You- I just want you to be genuine in this conversation, Dory.
What if I said
Again,
that was
there.
ungenuine?
Wait, hold on, twin. Because you said, well, when you was going back and forth with the host, was oh, well, then you would think that he's a man, almost like antagonizing her to be
I
like,
was asking her what she thought because this is the thing. If men are harmful, right, and you're a man, Blanco, then you have to be harmful too. It can't be oh trans men are not harmful because they're trans men. No, you have to be included in that. That's all I was
Said that
asking.
though from the
Because
beginning. We already established that, so I'm not understanding where you
no,
even got that
that's why
from
I
in
was
the first
confused. That's
place.
why I asked the host the question. That's why I asked the question because I wanted
That's the exchange me and
clarification.
him had in the
That's
beginning.
exactly.
He was
What are
trying
y'all even
to
complaining about?
he was trying to make that point, and when I said no, that's the point we was making, but Mr. Blanco is saying something like not something different, but he's making a different point. And before we could elaborate on that, Mr. Blanco recognized who he was, but that's what he came up and asked, and that's what I confronted him about. I was like, "Who you
Saying
talking
is he
to?"
He's been here since we've been having this conversation. For him to even ask that, he's not being genuine about anything. He was
You
just in the
don't know what
comments
you're talking
trolling.
about.
Hi,
I
Lynn.
haven't
How
done
are you, Lynn?
anything. Like,
Hey,
what are you
Kenya.
talking about? Like, I have not been trolling. I asked the host a question and that was it. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay.
Understanding where that comment came from. What made you ask that,
Because
Dory?
she said that trans men were men, and then she
Yeah.
said men themselves, cis men, are harmful. If trans men are men, right, then they need to be harmful too. It's
So what?
stranger
So
danger
what
for
he was
both.
responding? What he was responding to was the part when I was trying to break down like the place that women are in. I was like, oh, I get it. So trans men are saying like all of us need to recognize that cis men are harmful. And he was asking, but wait, wouldn't trans men be harmful? Because I separated the two based on what Mr. Blanco said. And so he was asking, wait, why are you separating the two? If he a man, it should be all men. It was what his point was.
Okay,
But
Exactly.
hold on, y'all. But after I need to clarify something. After me and done, go ahead.
I'm finished.
I just want to say this. I don't want this to be missed on nobody. And I'm going to make it emphatically clear. This is a spectrum. I believe that trans men are only dangerous because of their how they relate to men. Do I believe that they are the same level of danger as cis men? No, I do not. I'm gonna keep it 100% real.
You don't think that they're men then?
It is what it is. That's
There's
what I
some men that
think.
are dangerous. There's some men that are dangerous, and there's some men that are not. But the ones that are not just happen to be trans. That doesn't
Listen,
even make
hold on,
sense.
hold on. This is the point though. Um, man is a social construct. That's what I believe, right? And that's
Okay.
what they are. But
So
yeah, but yeah, biologically, I believe that they were born female, so they do
then we don't
understand.
need it.
Hold on,
No.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold
Go
on,
ahead, babe.
hold on. They were assigned female at birth.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, they have a certain level of understanding that you, even as a gay man, do not have, even though you
I
have
don't have
it,
any understanding. I
even
don't have.
though, I don't need your commentary. Thank you. Even though you may understand more than a hetero man. Yeah, it's true. People who are people who are assigned male at birth tend to be more dangerous than anybody, including you, Mr.
Like
Sir.
trans women? Like trans women?
Yeah, it's a spectrum. It's a spectrum.
Trans women, right? So we gotta
Yeah,
watch out for
it's a
them too, right?
spectrum. We
Okay, great.
we've
So we
said
gotta watch
that.
out for the trans women and we gotta watch out for the men.
You is not included in the we.
Well,
You're
you
not
need wait.
included in the we. You the person
You
we
yeah,
watching
well,
out
excuse
for,
me, you're right.
and
Well,
you're
you
displaying
exactly.
how harmful you are up here right
So you need
now.
to watch out for the men and the trans women, correct?
Yeah, I'm included in the we.
Well, yeah, you included in the we because you a bigot, but
I'm
we'll
asking.
get to you.
Yeah,
But
so trans women and men, you gotta watch out for them, right? Because those they were both born male, right?
yeah, we trans women are dangerous in a different way than cis hetero men. Absolutely. It's a spectrum.
Are they
That's what I
safer than
said from
trans men? Are they safer than trans men? Like what's the spectrum of
they're
danger?
safer than you.
What's the spectrum? Of course, because I'm a man. So what's the spectrum of danger then? Like where do they fall place?
This isn't my live, so I'm not gonna go down
I
trying
brought up a
to.
spectrum. You brought up a spectrum, babe. So like
Yeah,
talk
I
about the
did.
spectrum.
And
Yeah. So where is
there you go. Because you can't seem to stay on mute. And you did come up here to be argumentative. And that's what I was trying to point out in the first place. You came up here to be argumentative. You came up here to antagonize trans people because that's what you were here for in the first place. It wasn't to have a genuine conversation. It wasn't to try to include yourself. You was just trying to come up here and antagonize trans people. Just say that. Or why don't you start a live? You can literally go live and put something in your background to antagonize trans people. It's that easy.
Was gonna wait because I told y'all, like, I don't go blocking people just because it's a Sunday. I block people for a reason, and if you it's been problematic, and that's why I say he was disingenuous when he first came up here.
Yeah, because he not even letting me get out my thought point. He like flashy.
He
Like
kept
I'm
giving
trying
you
to say
ad libs
something
and
and
shit.
he trying to, yeah. What are you trying to say? So say it, say it, say it. And he want me to use my words to hurt trans men and trans women, even though I've stated my opinion. And it's not like my opinion is the opinion of all cis women. Like I'm the god of cisgenderness and I can dub trans people dangerous or not dangerous. Like, what are you trying to do? That's how I know you're trying to antagonize me into hurting them. But I don't have no problem telling trans women, yeah, I do think people assigned male at birth are dangerous because of their misogyny and they were socialized to be misogynistic. I'm a cis woman. Therefore, people who are assigned male at birth to me are my natural predator. And because trans men transition to men, I don't know that they are trans men or a trans man or a cis man. And therefore, you're going to be dangerous by default because I just got to look out for my safety. There it is, Mr. Sir.
And can I ask y'all a question to answer the prompt? Are we going in a certain order or how are we doing this? I just wanted to ask so I can be respectful of everybody.
You can go ahead.
So the first prompt, I can't talk to that because I'm not trans. Well, I don't feel like I can speak to that. I would like to be educated. If there's anybody who can let me know like the context of that in this live, but to the second prompt, I feel like people want to men misogyny is why y'all blame women instead of the patriarchy. It's also because I feel like a lot of men benefit from the patriarchy, so they're not gonna say it's there, but they also don't benefit from the patriarchy because every time I bring up like DV statistics and stuff like that in the live, they want to say, well, men get DV'd by women all the time, but we don't talk about that. And I'm like, yeah, that's a part of the patriarchy that you're living in. Like there's a stigmatism around men with women on men DV because y'all can't talk about it because guess what? You're thriving in a system that y'all are upholding. Of course, we can't talk about it. Like he like this one guy, he was like, I got DV by my partner, and I can't even. The police laughed at me, and I'm like, yeah, babe, that's what a system is. Like that's the system we live in. We live in a patriarchal system, so you can't say that it doesn't exist while also being like brutalized by it. But that's all I had to say about that. But the first prompt, if there's anybody here who's trans and would like to educate me, I would love to hear it.
Hold on 1 second. Lav, did you get to say something? I just realized you was up here.
I thank you so much for letting me come in. I'm really interested in the topic, so I'm going to listen a little bit more to understand what's going on. Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, Barbie.
Coming up to say like it's kind of confusing that you just got ran off from another trans space just to leave that trans space to come and center yourself in another trans space.
Who you talking to?
Dory.
This ain't a
Oh,
trans
And
space, Barbie.
Tisha. So that's somebody. Oh, I'm sorry if you're not. I just going off with that conversation. But and that girl Tisha with the heavy filter. I don't know how it comes up, how it came up, or whatever, but it's kind of getting weird, Dory.
You don't know me. You don't need to know me.
Yeah,
Ooh,
they
the
they
exes
stay
see
You
me.
don't need to know me,
they
sweetheart.
stay in our
Oh, I'm
I
glad
can
spaces.
I
see you
don't,
through
girl.
and
Your
out.
exes is annoying.
Huh?
Huh?
Say that again, sorry.
Understand English. You should know it.
Sweetheart, the bass in your voice, I can't understand what you're saying.
Oh,
Can
you
you
should
repeat
understand me
yourself?
very well with the base of
Hold on,
numbers.
y'all.
Actually
Hold
can't.
on. Tisha, hold on. This ain't that. We having a conversation. This is not a trans space. We are cis women having a conversation with trans people.
Okay,
So
great,
if
great.
y'all
So then,
okay, hold on, Tisha, hold on, little mama, hold on, pump your brakes. If you want
it's
to
not about
argue, little
it's not about
mama, hold on. If y'all want to, y'all are very angry. You are angry, and I don't know what for. But if you want to argue, you got to take that somewhere else. We just having a conversation. If you want to be a part of the conversation, Tisha, you are more than welcome to stay. But we not arguing, and doing all of that because ain't nobody been disrespectful yet. Now I ain't saying, hold on, Tisha. I ain't saying that it won't get there, and I ain't saying that people won't be disrespected because we will and can get there. But right now we having a conversation, Tisha. So please.
I love that, but no one's angry. What have I got to be angry for? Why would I be angry about people who are beneath me? You're saying that this is a woman's space, then correct Barbie at the bottom with that bad wig because Barbie said it's a trans space and Dory inserted himself into a trans space,
Already
which
did correct
yeah,
Barbie, and Barbie conceded to that. Barbie said she didn't
I didn't
know.
hear him speak. I didn't hear him say anything, so I didn't know that he
We
conceded.
misgendering
Yeah, I
people.
just saw Mr. Blanco
Yeah.
up here and I assumed that. I apologize.
Can we address
How
that real quick though? Well,
Um,
like, why are we being goofies and misgendering people?
they
sorry,
need to
how am I
worry about their
misgendering
filter. You
people?
said you was gonna came up without that filter. Let me
Yeah, the
see.
shit
How
is
am I
weird. It's weird, my
how am I
nigga.
Looking like a fem
misgendering
queen.
people? How am I misgendering people?
I mean by this is what I mean by you coming up here to argue because you specifically came to come up here to call Barbie hand.
Oh, not
Which
really, because
doesn't
I'm a
affect me.
wait, let me respond. I'm a him too, so it's not really the case. If I see a man, I'm gonna say a man. Do you know what I mean? If I hear a man,
Mm,
I'm gonna say a man. That's just the truth. If you hate the truth, don't hate me.
Okay.
okay.
But you came in here hot.
Yeah,
Like,
Happen.
she can't. That's what they
Yes,
come in
I
here
am hot.
for.
I'm hot stuff. I'm hot stuff.
okay.
I don't know what the right you
Well,
said.
y'all be
I
having
can't even
beef.
understand that person, Tisha. I don't know where she's from, but I can't understand you hardly, lady.
That's
I'm
what
They
from
I
be
no,
just
it's
having
not.
beef.
said.
Hold on 1 second. I know it be a lot of beef going around. They probably be in Auntie Water's face, and maybe they got into it. Maybe Tish got into it with Auntie Water, so she, you know, following these folks around. I don't know.
I'm not following anyone around. I literally host my own lives. Like I have my own main account with my own
Okay, then we
platform.
answer the prompt. Then answer the prompt.
Okay, the prompt is trans is the new black house, so I don't conflate race with gender. Can you explain that to me?
Go to the next one. Then, if you don't know, then you pass the
Wait.
test. You
Oh
pass
wait,
the test.
no,
You
sweetheart,
gave the
no,
answer. You
no,
gave the
sweetheart,
answer. You gave the
no. What
answer.
I
You
want
don't
you to
conflate
give the
them. That's the
oh
answer.
I want you to give the answer though, beautiful goddess. I'm sure you're a black queen yourself. So how is trans the new black?
You know what, Tisha? You can eat a sick dick. I
Open her
brought.
mouth. That mouth only used for one thing, Queen, and she can't do it when she ain't doing that because I can't understand nothing she's saying. I'm like, what are you saying? Open your
That shit was
mouth.
crazy.
That
Y'all,
tongue thick, baby.
they be out of control with the.
She was
Y'all
acting
gotta learn
so
how to hold your
dense.
own. Y'all
She was
gotta learn how to
acting
hold your
dense.
own. You said what?
She was
What?
acting dense, bro. Like, I feel like when y'all, this is just my inference on the question. The top prompt is like how black people are treated, right? Trans people are. Is that what y'all saying for the top prompt? The
No,
top
the top
prompt.
part is more so about some white trans men and women trying to co-opt the black experience to justify to ignore their privilege
Oh my
and
gosh.
try to force themselves to team with black people. That was what that was more so about. But
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Like
but
AAV and stuff.
yeah, like hearing a YT trans woman say clock it and almost take herself out sent me. I was like, whoa, she almost hurt
Yeah.
herself trying to say that shit. But I had brought Dory back up because he was in a request again, and maybe we can have a better dialogue.
And then somebody said his name, so I was like, let me bring it back up because his name got called. And I'm trying to see. I didn't see what y'all saw, and it could be because the way I frequent these spaces and the things that, because I'm in a lot of these spaces, and I've got my eyes on some of these spaces, and my view about the how the community speaks on this app is different. So maybe I'm coming from that space because the grace that's given in here is not extended. So although I think it's important to give grace, although I think it's important to not allow people to try to use this platform as a way to attack trans women or trans men for that matter. I am big on like matching energy, and when people be going in and out some of these rooms where like they're arguing about stuff, I understand where beef can come into play, but I also understand where there is this like no nonsense way of talking. Because if you go into, and I'm gonna say Auntie Water name because she keep my name in her mouth. If you go into Auntie Water space on any given day, not only is she gonna mention my name randomly when I ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but they're very, very, very harsh to the friendlies and the people that come in there. A lot of ballroom, a lot of the reading is very much nasty. So I can see people frequenting those spaces, having a certain type of energy because you develop that type of energy when you're in those spaces, whether you in there for nefarious reasons or not. That's one. Two, damn, I gotta remove you, Mr. Blanco. You gotta come back up. They said remove you. I don't know what happened. Y'all tap the screen.
Well, can I say something? Because I think that's
Hold
okay.
on, real quick,
Yeah.
Lonnie. Let me respond to her.
Well, I
This
wanted to
is
respond. Okay, sorry.
I get what you're saying, Mia, and I get that. But the thing is, we don't know what happened, and like you can't carry on your conversation. Like the only reason why you match energy is because the energy was put out there. Now, if the energy put out there on this panel, then the energy will be matched. But you
Mm-hmm.
coming in here like bringing something that happened in another life in here. Like, and you don't even know the vibe, you don't know the conversation, you don't know what's going down in here. Like, just to me shows that you being disingenuous anyway, and we can't have no conversation. The reason why that energy be brought to Wada is because even when we try to have conversations, Wada want to end up in battles like these people. Like Wada loves these people because then she can have stupid battling matches with these people.
Mm-hmm. Well, can I say something? I feel like I do understand where Drika's coming from, just because I feel like, because like before I had met Drika, she had basically had just was on a little slight rampage because basically every single trans space that she had been in prior to creating this space, she basically was like being dragged by everybody trans, Auntie Water, this, that, and the third, and nobody was really hearing her out. And then I came into the live and we had a very productive conversation. Like we had productive conversations with people that was typically ops even, all because we had a grounding for us. So I definitely can understand where Drika's coming with the having a conversation with Dory, because I feel like in these spaces sometimes you get so much resistance from people just trying to have a simple conversation that it gets to the point to where you start to spout stuff that even you don't believe. Like screw respectability politics, but don't get me wrong, if you have it's like you have a bad enough experience with a white person, you have a bad enough experience with a Latino person at this point, especially on all of these spaces consistently, you're bound to draw a conclusion about how these people operate. And so that is obviously what you're taking in the forefront of your mind when you get into these spaces. So I'm gonna land my plane. Long story short, I can't understand why Drika extends grace, because I do feel like when you get into these trans spaces, I've seen it in real time. I get on trans spaces, I even challenge the girls, and all of a sudden they down my throats spouting misogynistic, cam up, this, that, and the third, all because you said something intellectual and you want to have a conversation and you're just trying to get some clarification on prompts. The girls don't like that. And it's even worse for the cis girls. I'm trans and I have a common ground with these folks, and even they treat me like trash sometimes. So I can only imagine how it is to be cis and try to actually have questions and actually interact and challenge folks, and to feel like that you're always met with resistance. And so you come to these spaces hostile. It's natural. So I want people to get there grievances out, but then we need to have a logical conversation without there being transphobia.
I think it's a different tune, not with Drake. I think it's a different tune with the dude below when you constant these spaces to invalidate people, say weird ass shit, and then align yourself with other weirdos that be doing. I can't say it because I don't want to get.
I agree, Mr. Blanco, but he ain't shown us the cards yet. So my thing is, I feel like I saw it, but we gonna allow him that space to say what he gotta say. If he say something wrong, we got a whole panel of people who don't want him to get out of line. So if he get out of line, then we'll check it there. But unfortunately, we just gotta see now what is given.
Don't check it. You better drag his ass. You better drag him to fulfill like I would do. Shoot.
Can I
Cis,
ask y'all a
trans,
question?
Bayesian. I'm going to drag you. Say something out of line to me.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Hold
What
on,
if?
before
Sorry.
you ask a question, let at least go. Cause she came
That's
back up here.
Tess. It's all Tess. You can call me Tess for short.
Oh, girl, I'm old. I don't know if I can't
Me too,
see or if
girl.
I don't
Me
want to
too, girl.
see. I don't know if I mixed the words up or what I did. But go ahead, baby. You got it.
Like I did just want to say this, and I'm kind of just going to go back to the comment section. There's a certain reason why I carry a certain energy, but for specific people on here, and I understand that, like from your perspective, because I don't carry that bad. Like I code switch very well. Like when I'm with the dolls and with the gays and theys, like I'll carry with the best of them. But when I come into these type of, it's very rare to find like an ally and a black cisgender woman who's able to like intellectually hold a conversation. So you have to be able to hold space in both those places. But what I don't like is seeing people who are a threat to transgender people in in a conversation about trans people next to somebody who is, and I'm not saying like you're susceptible or anything to like outside influence because we're all grown, but I just don't like giving someone a platform to even speak to someone like you because you carry a lot of weight, in my opinion, about how you are able to like dissect, adverse and complicated topics. So sometimes I get what you like. Maybe y'all don't get why we carry so bad, but I don't like seeing certain individuals talking to people who hold a safe space for trans people because people who come in here to legitimately learn from you hosts and to learn from the rest of the panelists, if they're on the fence still and then they see, and just to be very specific, if they see a gay man in here misgendering transgender people and saying that I don't agree with this and I don't agree with that, then then those people who have come here to learn and who have really come here to challenge their beliefs, they're never going to learn anything. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, and I think I hear what you're saying, but again, me being honest, I did not see it. And that's why I want to see exactly what y'all talking about. But I also understand that me not seeing it don't mean that it don't exist because it's not about being susceptible. The indoctrinate the hearing the conversations in the trans room will run you to the opposite side in a New York minute. Me actively trying to be like in a space of learning is the only thing that keep me from being out my mind with it because the conversations that trans women and trans men have on this app specifically are very problematic because it all points to talking to cis women instead of attacking the patriarchy. But because I understand that people are in survival mode and people are in certain spaces and things that become important when you are oppressed or when you are in survival mode looks very, very silly. That's what keeps me my head above water. But it is frustrating, especially as a black woman, that I have to, and I say I have to because the burden is on me. The burden is on me because I believe that once you know information, you can't unknow it. So once I know better, I can't lean back to the part of me that didn't know any better, right? So the burden is on me to conduct myself in a certain way with other people who are actively being problematic, and I want to drag them.
So, and I do, don't get it wrong, I do drag them, but I always come back to a place when I'm talking to somebody like a Mr. Blanco or Mr. Lonnie. I mean, excuse me, Miss Lonnie. Sorry, that was a Freudian slip, and that's a part of that's how you know it be deep in you. You got to work on it, right? Miss Lonnie and Mr. Blanco is because they come with a different type of energy that lowers like me wanting to be on go. But if you bring somebody like if Barbie came in here and she didn't do what I thought she was gonna do, but because I know she be in water space, but if Barbie would have said something wrong, I would have went completely left because I want to. Because I think it's not
Right.
fair that certain people get the vain or fame, whatever the word is, innocent. Like, oh my God, I'm so marginalized, I can't help but be misogynistic and problematic. I can't help it, and I have to be so mature in my survival, in my marginalization, that I'm supposed to accept you disrespecting me as a woman is crazy. But I said all that to say that's why I like to have other people in the room, because if somebody like Miss Lonnie didn't come in this room and have the conversation, I might would have been even worse off than I am today, still trying to navigate my transphobia, still trying to navigate all these internal issues, anti-blackness, misogyny, misogynoir, etc. So I just want to say that. That's why I opened up the door, because Mr. Dory could change if he hear from somebody like me versus going into the spaces he may have frequented. So, okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for allowing me up. I'm gonna drop back down to the comments.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. You can come back up anytime. Um, and thank you for hearing me out. What I about to say? How the hell? Where'd Tara go?
The change part is funny, twin. I'm not gonna hold you.
What
Um,
changed?
yeah, he has to want to do the work.
Oh, you
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, and he's
I was
actively
like,
shown.
what?
Yeah, he's actively shown that he don't want to do the work.
But
So
How did
but
you know
Blanc
he
yeah,
lost?
but
Like, how
Blanco,
do you know?
what Mia is saying that is that if you would have caught us, and I'm gonna say us because once they came for Mia, once water came for Mia, it was up and stuck for me too. If you would have caught us in a live with talking to Mia or Kiosha, I'm not Mia, talking about Wada or Kiosha or any of them in another time, you would have been like, dang, they T-phobic if you didn't know us or if you didn't know what had happened. So
mm,
what Mia is saying like is that some of these spaces, like some of the trans spaces, they 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 breed like contention based on some of the stuff that people are saying. It's not like just because you trans don't mean that you're not a bigot in essence. Because I we was sitting on Ty live, trans Ty, and she was saying some outrageous stuff about women. Some outrageous stuff about women. It was extremely um misogynistic, and it was giving pick me real bad. It was giving pick me. She was saying that like basically like women drop womanhood, and trans women are picking up the ball, and now women are jealous of her. Just the conversation surrounding cis women are jealous of trans women alone will breed some sort of contention and disruption in the harmony of any conversation. And that's what those are the conversations that we want to have. And unfortunately, due to, you know, I'm gonna call it indoctrination in the trans community, most trans women are not able to have that conversation. They still think for whatever reason that the male validation is the most important thing, and that's dangerous.
W.
And I had a question, y'all, for the if I can answer. Is it okay if I answer
Oh yeah,
truthfully?
go ahead. I forgot you had a
Okay.
question.
Now you good, but my question is this: when you're faced with trans women who say like who are disparaging cis women, if that's wrong, please let me know because I'm really trying to unlearn a lot of shit. But
Mm-hmm.
if when you're facing with trans women who are disparaging cisgender women, what are some things that we can say that's not like I don't want to like what are some things that you can say, like not just to defend yourself, but a lot of women, like Madrid, like the women before me said, like, you're not trying to be transphobic, and you're just trying to talk. Basically, you're just trying to learn in that space, and then now they're just reading you the hell down. Like, what are some things that we can combat that with? That's my question for y'all.
So for me,
Back.
for what I'm gonna read back, and I'm gonna tell you in the same way that I'm not gonna blame all trans women
Mm-hmm.
for your behavior. Don't blame all cis women for mine, because I'm about to dog walk you on phone them. I'm
Yeah,
about to
cause
dog walk you on phone them, and don't blame all cis women for me dogging you out in the same way that I won't blame all trans women for you dogging me out. We gonna be potato. We gonna call it RuPaul Drag Race up in this bitch. That's what we gonna call it. So that's where I'm at with it. But on the flip side, do I think that it's a way to have the conversation? Yeah. Do I think that regardless of how they coming at you, do you have to go to those spaces? No, you don't. You don't have to shift your energy because of somebody else. So a more honest answer, if somebody disrespects you in a way that is out of pocket and, like you said, disparaging of you, no, you don't have to go there. But the reason why I think that is different when it comes to trans women and cis women is because to me, this my struggle with it, because, and I could be corrected, I'm not saying I'm right, I'm just saying it's my struggle with it. I am able to rationalize colorism and my privilege in colorism, even though the texture of my hair and the features on my face, I deal with certain things because of that. Because of featureism, I'm marginalized, and because of texturism, I'm marginalized. But me being light skinned, I understand the privilege I have when you think about colorism. I don't make no excuses. I can listen to it and I can sit with it not comfortably. It's hard. But I can sit with it and not bring up featureism, for example. Like, I bring it up now to make a point. But I can listen to me being checked about my colorism and not mention anything else about my intersection. Just sit and listen to it. But when it comes to this cis woman privilege, I have a hard time with it because I do not think it's true. I can't rationalize it. And because I can't, when I'm in a conversation with another trans woman who is black, and they say things that are misogynistic, I have a problem with that because I want to be misogynistic too then.
yeah,
And
cause
that's a
like.
me thing. That's a me thing, but that's why I do what I do.
Yeah, because like this lady, she told me, she said, "How are you going to be a womanist and call me out and saying I'm misogynist?" I said, "Girl, you just literally said women can only gain maturity from being in marriage. That's misogynistic." She said, "You're not a womanist. You don't know what that means." I just said, "Bro, I'm gonna just lead a life. Let me just go on go, because we're not gonna have an intelligent conversation. That's you just not you hearing me and you're not listening to me. I'm gonna just go. We not."
Yeah.
And Draco, we talked about this before a couple of weeks ago. I
Mm-hmm.
can hold space for individuals who come from a place of wanting to learn and acknowledge they shit and unpack they shit. But the moment you don't want to acknowledge it, and the moment you want to, again, invalidate people, say weird off the wall shit, that's where I no longer participate with you. That's where I block you, right? So I can come into this space. You and I can have conversations, Lynn and Tara and all the people. But when you get busters like the people below, I can't do it because you're not coming from a genuine place of unpacking your stuff. Everybody has
Why
stuff
you
they
are
have to unpack.
obsessed with me,
I'm
dude? Like,
coming
why
from
are
a
you
genuine place.
Yeah,
just take and let
everybody
it
has.
go?
I'm sorry. Give me one
You are
second. Yeah,
obsessed
give
with
me one
me. Like,
second.
oh my gosh,
Hold on,
does it
twin.
bother you that bad
Hold,
that I don't see you as a man? It bothers you
hold,
that bad?
not at all. It bothers
So
me.
what are you so
It,
pressed for? Like,
it
why are you
bothers me
so
that
bothered?
it bothers me that you don't want to unpack your stuff, and that's why I say it don't come from a
Unpack what?
genuine.
Tell me to what do you want me to unpack, Blanco?
I remember very vividly
And hold
how
on, Dory.
how
Let
I
Mr.
explained.
Blanco.
Oh
Let
wait,
Mr. Blanco. Hold on, Dory. Let Mr. Blanco finish. Then you can respond.
Go
And
ahead. Yeah.
then King Kenya, you'll be after. But I want them to sort this out real quick. Then you can go. So go
yeah,
ahead, Mr. Blanco. Finish, and then
just bringing up to you a couple of months how
black men experience racism. And you said, how does racism impact you? And I gave you the example of me driving down the street and being harassed by police. And you basically said in so many words that black men don't experience racism. For me, that's when I clocked out with conversation with you, being a black man. Right. So that let me know that you have some shit that you still got to unpack and you don't want to have genuine conversations. Amongst other things that you've done on this app, I don't want to engage with you because you're disingenuous. I'm done.
I have no idea what you're talking about, dude. But like at the end of the day, like this is just what it is. You don't have to engage with me and everything like that. It's just like the constant, like, oh my god, like this guy at the bottom, like, bro, if you don't like me, then just like don't talk. I'm not here to talk about you, dude. Like seriously, like I was here to talk to the host. Like however you feel about me, that's great. Like that's good for you. I still feel how I feel about you. That's what it is. Like, yeah, like I don't have shit to unpack. Like God bless you, dude. Bless you. I don't see you as a man. Sorry. Get over it.
Yeah, please don't put a spell on me. I appreciate it. I don't want a blessing from a nigga like you. I appreciate it.
I take back my hex. Yeah, sorry. I take back my hex. Whoop, just snatch it back. You're good. You're safe now. Because I know you need a safe space everywhere you go, right?
Okay, so it sound like yeah, it sound like Dory is coming from a place where he don't believe that trans people are the opposite, like whoever they transition into, and that's.
Can I tell you my beliefs? Can I tell you my beliefs?
That's what I thought you were gonna do. Yeah, go ahead and say that, so then King can go, and then I see Fatima up here.
Yeah, so I do not believe that, like, if I don't believe trans women are women, I don't believe trans men are men. Okay, I believe that sex and gender are synonymous, and whatever you develop as a human is just what you are. That's not to say I don't think that trans people should not be able to transition. I don't think that they should not be able to like thrive, to live their best lives. For me, I just don't use preferred pronouns, and I don't recognize people, these men and women, as the opposite sex. I just don't do that.
Okay. Oh, hey, Fatima,
I
you
have a
look
question for
pretty.
Dory. You do look pretty, Fatima. I have a question real quick for Dory. Um, so this is my question to you. What about like you misgendering cis black women? Because like if a trans woman would never disclose to you that she's a trans woman, how would you not know? Like, because a lot of times that happens too. Like people do that to cis black women. My
But that's
question is, how would
misogyny,
you
though.
know?
What are you asking me? Like, what are you asking me,
I'm
babe?
saying, how would you know that you're talking to a trans person? Like sometimes, yeah, they can be and they
Yeah,
can be
like clocky.
non-passable, yeah, but
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah.
if a trans woman is passable and you assume that she's a cis woman and you calling her a woman, the moment you find out that she's a trans woman, you gonna start calling her him.
Yeah. But this is the thing though. This is the thing, right? I'm not here to contest the fact that there are trans women who pass very well. I don't know if you guys know who Day is. Day does TikToks like on here. Day's a trans woman, whatever. Day is really, really pretty. Like Day is really pretty. I did not believe Day was trans when I first saw them on the camera. But this is the thing, dude. Like just because you're a pretty man, that does not make you a woman. I I look at it like this. If you're an adult human male, okay, if you meet those three criterias, right, then you are a man. Okay. Trans women meet that same criteria that I do. Okay. So for me, if you pass very well as the opposite sex, that does not make you the opposite sex. So for me, you are just a very feminine man. You have feminized yourself to the point where now you resemble a woman. Do you know what I mean? But that does not make you a woman. Because I don't think woman is a look. Like, because there's women that don't look like that. There's women who look very masculine. They get mistaken for guys all the time. That doesn't mean that they're not women. They just have a certain look to them. And I think that there's nothing wrong with looking however you want to look, but there's just an objective reality to everything.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah, I wanted to say because I guess I came in at the tail end, so I don't know what was, and I hope y'all can hear me because these headphones like to make
Mm-hmm.
issues.
We can
But
hear you.
with Dory, when you made your comment and you said that you don't think that like your opinions doesn't mean that you don't think that they should be able to transition or that you don't think that they shouldn't be able to live their best life, etc., etc. Do you see the sort of cognitive dissonance when you say that you
Mm-hmm.
think that they should be able to live their best lives, and then in the same sentence say that you're not going to acknowledge, you're not going to use preferred pronouns, and that you're not going to acknowledge them for who they're telling you that they are? How exactly are they supposed to live their best lives in a space where somebody denies them who they're telling you they are? Like you're not saying preferred names, preferred pronouns, whatever the case it is. That's not living your best life. That's like maybe being in a box or being uncomfortable at best. Like it can be
Yeah, but
dehumanizing to do that.
living your best life doesn't involve other people's participation, though.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, it
No,
does
but
not
but but
involve
it
Has
does.
But
food.
But
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 you're
but let me
but you're
clarify.
actively okay. Sorry.
I'm about to clarify what you said. Yeah, but hold on, because I want to not only because whether you believe that it don't have to be involved with you, and I think that's a conversation to have. That could be a conversation to have on a different point, and I also think that it's important. I think that it's more important to talk about the misogyny because I think that address a lot of the issues that people um have with the trans community. We address some of that. That would be beautiful. But when you got to go out your way to like miss to say something to somebody like for me to call Mr. Blanco Miss Blanco or Lonnie Mr. Lonnie outside of it being like a slip of the tongue, it's for me to be doing a lot of work. Like it's I'm consciously like I see this man and you could say he pretending to be a man. You could say he has deceived you so well that you would have never knew he was a one. Whatever. You could say all of that. But in the moment, you have to consciously say, I'm going to call this man a woman because blah, 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 blah. And I think that's unnecessary. I think that's kind of productive. I don't think that helps us get to any other point. If you want to talk about how it's a problem that so many people transitioning and you think it's too common now, whatever, have that conversation. But once somebody walk up to you and your brain says, "Oh, that's a woman," just go ahead and say it. Like
But
I
they're
think
not
not
though.
saying is too much work.
Post
But
like
they're not.
respectfully though.
And
This is
I
this is
want to
the thing.
comment
This
whenever I
is
can
this
say
is the thing. Respectfully,
Okay,
host.
hold on, Ryan.
If
Let
I
him.
mistake,
You can
if
go
I
after them.
mistake, like if I mistake like a cat for like a raccoon in the middle of the night because I didn't see what it was. Like if I think it's a cat and I find out it's not a cat, does that mean that it's a cat because I thought it was? Like just because like my perception would be incorrect. That's all I'm saying. If I saw
No, and
someone,
I'm saying
right,
that's
and I was
fine. But that's the same. We saying the same thing. If I'm like moving past it in a different way. I'm saying it don't if you don't believe that male humans can be women because they say so, but you see a male human that deceived you or that passed so well that they're a woman, you trying to check under their dress and look at their neck and bend them over and do all kind of weird shit so that you can say, aha, I knew you was a woman. It's weird when you could just say, yes, ma'am, thank you, ma'am, and go about your business.
Yeah,
Because
but
if
when
the
did I
cat
say I was gonna
didn't
do that though,
no,
host? When did I
well,
say
I
any of
didn't
that?
say that you said that. I'm just
Oh.
saying, that is what I think the equivalent of you misgendering somebody or changing what you saw them as once you done move past it. Like, if you don't think that trans women should be moving around existing, don't be their friend.
but he still shouldn't be in women's spaces though.
I didn't say that though. I didn't say that
I
at all.
know,
That's literally the opposite of what I said.
But
but
Like
you and somebody
that's
else
not
was
what I'm saying at
talking.
all though.
so host,
I know, but
you're
you
saying that men
somebody else
belong
talking.
host, are you
But can
saying
I
that
say something?
host, you're saying men belong in women's spaces if they pass well?
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
saying
okay,
that
sorry.
I'm saying that I'm not about to be at the I'm not gonna be at the
Talking
back.
about yeah, she's talking about respecting. Let's keep it because this is the thing. I hate when y'all do that because that's not even what the conversation was. She said, and even me when I spoke, I said if you are purposely misgendering somebody, if you are purposely calling somebody by their unalived name,
I'm
that
not.
is. But you
I
made
know,
it a
but
point.
we're
You
hold
said in
on.
your no. But Mia,
Not
he did.
names,
Dory
format.
said that. Dory said that. Dory said,
Gendering
I'm
anyone.
not.
If I see a
Dory
man and
said,
I call them a
I'm
man,
not
Hold
done
on, Dory.
talking.
Hold
like,
on, because Lonnie want to say something, so I want Fatima to finish so Lonnie can say something. Go ahead, Fatima.
Yeah, I was saying that Dory literally made a comment and said that I'm not going to call you, but I'm not doing any preferred pronouns. I'm not calling you what you want me to call you, etc. With that, that's literally what we're talking about you respecting people's pronouns and their preferred names. You said that you won't even do that, and that creates we need to talk about.
names. I never said names. I
You
never
Yes,
said
you
names.
Okay,
did.
don't
we
need
know.
Yes,
pronouns.
you did.
No,
Okay.
he never said that.
I don't
He
care
said,
about a name. I don't care about that.
hold on, because this the thing that I don't be liking. We ain't gonna get into semantics. You said if you found out like if they was passing and you found out they was a man, you wouldn't continue to use the pronouns. We ain't
I
saying
would
nothing about
not.
names. Okay, so
I
there.
never said names.
Okay, so but that's all she's saying. So hold on, let Lonnie go before we drag that because the semantics. I hate semantics. That be too much for me.
Well, I
Go
mean,
ahead,
yeah. What
Lonnie.
well, what I was gonna say is, I mean, I feel like even so, what I was gonna address was specifically when he was talking about Day, and Day, that's my homegirl. Um, so when he was talking about Day, it's super interesting. It was just the way that he was jumping through the hoops to essentially try not to misgender her, but also misgender her in that same way because
Mm-hmm.
he was in that
We
same
use
way.
they them
He know
pronouns.
he was using they them pronouns because
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't even believe it. His heart's not in it. He couldn't even bring himself to call Day he. But in that same breath was also acknowledging her womanhood in a way. Like you couldn't strip her of her womanhood because you know deep down that that is a woman, but you couldn't do
There's no
it.
woman
But you because
who
if you
is that.
truly believed that standpoint, you would have misgendered her, but you did not. Like you see that womanhood there. You
Listen,
see
I
that
could call Day he all day. I could, but this
you
is just
okay.
like
Well, you
I
were
don't
struggling
think
to
that.
though.
Yeah,
You
but
were
this is the
struggling
thing that
to.
like
You're faking. Can
I
I
don't think
finish?
this is the
Dory,
lot.
you were able to
Okay,
have
Let
your
go.
Lonnie
moment with
finish. Lonnie
everybody.
didn't finish. Let
Yeah,
her finish.
Go ahead
you were
then. I'm
able to have
sorry.
your moment with everybody else. Let me have mine, okay? But I say that to say, so I feel like specifically in this conversation, while yes, I could understand you sort of. I mean, I can't understand you, but I'm saying like I understand. I hear what you're saying, and I'm not putting words in your mouth because I hear you did not say the name thing. You were just mainly talking about preferred pronouns. But even then, it's like I don't even think that you believe that truly
No,
because
you
even in that instance,
it's being
you couldn't
disingenuous.
even in that instance, you couldn't even misgender the way that you say that you typically do. So I just feel
Just
like at
call
this
people
point
out their
you're up
names.
here. I feel
Yeah,
like
Sorry.
I
yeah.
feel I keep getting interrupted. I'm
Let
sorry.
her finish.
Yeah.
Jesus
I
Christ.
sat very patiently while everybody had their little moment. But again, I just feel like so back to what I was saying. I like I said, it would be different, Dory, if when you had came up here and you had made that point, you would have really went for it, but you didn't even go for it. Like you couldn't really do what you say that you do. So I feel like in some way, in some regard, you're just doing it to be disingenuous, and the
Yes,
contention overall is performative.
yes. Could I just say something? Sorry. It's okay?
I'm sorry. I'm done.
Can you hear me?
Go
Blanco,
ahead.
Yeah,
thank
I can hear
Yeah.
you.
you.
Hi.
Yeah, go ahead. I had stepped away. Go
Hi.
ahead.
Thank you. I was just listening for a while because for a while I didn't understand the full topic. I think what Dory is doing is very dangerous, and it's very much close to how white people act very racist, but when you call on it, they have this plausible deniability. So it's kind of playing with words. It's kind of playing with semantics, just to trigger people. But it's a power play. That's what they are doing. It's a power play, because what they are saying, if I am understanding correctly, is if I meet a trans woman and to me they look like trans women, but if I find out that so they look like just whatever, like any woman, but if I find out that she's trans woman, all of a sudden I'm gonna switch to the idea that nah, I'm gonna treat you like a man. That's power play. That's aggression. That's hostility. That's not a normal human relationship. And the funny thing is this, Dory, you can do that because you've probably putting yourself in a position of power. But power is not is indiscriminate. You could also be in a position, I don't know what you are, but you could also be in a position of vulnerable at some point where another person can have power over you. So you playing with words, but that doesn't really give you inherent power.
Are you Somali?
Yes, I am.
Oh, so أنا حتى صومالية هاي.
Yeah, nice
but,
to meet you.
yeah, better show an
How
accent.
did you know my accent gave away, right?
Yeah, your accent's beautiful.
Yeah, but this is the problem. I mean,
not shout out to Africa.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very much I'm very allied to trans people, because to me I believe that the human is human. I respect people's body, and when I see people playing with semantics and words to play power, I like to call them out. That's my expertise.
Am I
But
gonna be
Lav,
able
I
to?
feel
Am I
like
gonna be
you
able
can.
to explain anything or no?
I feel like Lav can relate because any kind of like we all experience, like every single person on this panel is marginalized down to the like Kenya and Lav and Fatima can be marginalized because they black, they women, and they're Islamic. Like people can be Islamophobic, perpetuate Islamophobia towards you. So in understanding that as human beings, like I don't understand, like I'm not about to go out of my way to, if I go out of my way as a Christian woman to say something about Christianity and keep asserting my Christianity and keep asserting that my religion is better and my way is right and this, I'm purposely antagonizing the Islamic women on the panel. That's on purpose. And that's deep rooted. And it'll be better if I said it with my chest so that when I be Islamophobic, Fatima can say something back to me, like with her whole chest, instead of pretending that I'm not.
It's almost like the person is being predator without telling they are being predator, because nobody has the right to actually argue with someone about their own body. Like that's, we are all black, most of us here. So a white person treating me certain way because they think they have a power, if it's just the two of us, trust me, there's no power. The only time somebody has power is because they are under some sort of system. So Dory, I don't know what Dory gender is, but just looking at the picture, and it's very small, if Dory is a man, then they are 100% using the patriarchy system to play the game. So that's what I'm calling out. You playing the game, but be careful, because you can be also vulnerable in the game, just like everybody else.
But you know, I'm Somali, and I agree with
nobody's immune.
I agree with Dory, and I'm also Somali.
Yeah, okay. Lady, you think we don't know?
No, I think
you
the Somali.
You think you unique, and he's a G for G man.
That's understandable, because let's be very clear, because Somalia, because it is, and unfortunately I say this because I'm Guinean, and Guinea is also a Muslim country, so we're very conservative. So you
My
being
mom's from Morocco.
so
You're
you
Kenyan?
being no, I'm Guinean.
Oh, you're Ghanaian.
So
Okay.
yeah, so you having these ideologies makes sense because of how you were like we're raised to be homophobic, we're raised to be transphobic, like we're raised to not think that those things are okay because we live in these very religious conservative places. But I think that it is on us as the future generation and as people who have access to education and have access to like being here in the United States and having access to different cultures and different people and different walks of life. It's on us to unlearn those things and to not be discriminatory and to not be harmful towards other people. Like, I don't think that like us using our identities is an excuse.
Yeah, but
and I don't like that.
As women know, in Somalia,
after you finish, let Dora respond. Go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say, so basically in Somalia, in my country, the women face SMEX-based discrimination. So they get FGM, where their areas cut and their hole is sewn shut at the age of like 6 or 7. The Somali girl on the panel can attest to this. So we face SMEX-based discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
So to now turn around and pretend like SMEX is not meaningful and everything is based on gender identity, I think is very harmful to women and girls who face SMEX-based discrimination. That's my point.
Okay.
But that's not what we're saying. We can acknowledge that, but at
that's
least
the patriarchy. That's
Right.
Guinea also has FGM. Unfortunately, my mother was a victim of FGM.
Yeah, mine
Right?
too. Yeah.
Right. So when we sit here and we have these conversations, so the same patriarchy and the same system that is set in place that makes it okay for young girls to be victims of female genital mutilation is the same system that tells you it's not okay for men to be together. It's the same system that tells you that it's not okay for you to transition. It's the same system. It's an issue of patriarchy and white supremacy.
Yeah, but
So
what
when
you're
you sit
asking us,
here, no, when you sit here and like now we're trying to flip this with women experiencing FGM and making it into an issue of, oh, well, gender identity and all this thing. That's not a trans issue. That's an issue of patriarchy and misogyny. That's misogynoir. That's not a trans problem. It's not because trans people did X, Y, and Z. Even if trans people make up what less than 1% of the population, if they didn't exist, we would still be experiencing FGM because it's men that are doing it.
I agree, but the trans movement's asking us to deny our sex-based differences. That's what I'm against.
Yeah, and I think that there is a conversation to have about how the patriarchy is utilizing an issue that happens to affect trans people as a weapon, which is why there's a wedge between, for example, trans women and cis women, because it's like this nasty game of sex and gender is different, so I can self ID, and that harms trans women and cis women. And we also don't, because self ID, if you think about them making gender identity be like, okay, it's whatever, and trying to erase SMEC, you have people who just self ID and they are causing all these problems, and then people who may be transgender or may not be transgender but may be going through certain things get swept through a system that's benefiting off of them, capitalism. And it's some people who may have transitioned who needed more intense care, and there's some people who transition and now they got to experience all of these other extra added things because there's people that are self IDing. So I do agree it's the patriarchy, absolutely, but I think that it's necessary. We still need to talk about why are we erasing sex from gender when people who are trans are a part of the sex and gender. They just happen to have the wrong sex, and that need to be corrected. And then the people who don't believe that, they are the ones who are fucking it up. They're the ones who causing problems. And then some people get harmed because they end up transitioning because there's this push for transitioning. There's like this push because you don't want your child to unalive, and they end up being pushed into transition. They probably wasn't trans. So I do think it's important, but it's nuanced. That's why we need to have these conversations, because they're nuanced. But then I want Dory to respond to what was said, but there's another part that I want to say, but I forgot. Go ahead, Dory.
I don't even remember. Like, there's been so much said since.
Yeah, having.
Yeah, there's been so much said. In a nutshell, I think Lonnie said something that like kind of alarmed me. Lonnie, you are correct in the sense that when I was referring today, I was not trying to quote unquote misgender Day, but I want to be very clear. The only reason that I would ever like stumble like that is because I don't feel like this is the space where if I call a trans woman a he, that would be very well received. Because in my real life, when I DM Kenya, when I talk to like anyone else, and Blanca will attest to this, I don't refer to trans women as she's like ever or like theys. I call them he and men. But it's just for the sake of conversation. I didn't want to like rile anyone's feathers. So no, it's not. It's not okay. And this is another thing, Fatima. I would love to know how it's so dangerous for me to call a male a man when that's just like the truth. If I call a man a he, this is a problem because what? I'm
The
So
same
is there?
way.
I can flip it and ask you a question.
Yeah,
Why would it be so dangerous for people to say that two men can't be together, and that you're supposed to be with
yeah,
a woman?
yeah, exactly.
do
Like
what? I'm
it's
sorry.
that's the way. Like it's actually you're like men are women and women are supposed to be together, and you shouldn't be with another man. Why would that be
Yeah,
dangerous?
but there's no biological truth to me banging another man. I want to bang
Oh,
men, so
okay.
I'm gonna do that. I'm
No,
not
there no,
pretending to be something I'm
but people
not.
do no, but people do push and
Yeah.
say that there is a
Do you want me?
but people do
Yeah.
push that. No,
No,
people do push that,
Yeah.
and they say that they
That's
bring
good
up
for them.
biology and they bring up religion and they say that well,
Yeah.
if men and men were
I
supposed to be
didn't bring
together,
up
then that
religion
would
at
have been
all.
natural.
No, but Fatima,
I said that people do it. That they use that argument. They
Yeah,
bring up biology
it's
and they
the
bring up
same
that's not
religion.
argument.
what I
It's the
did.
same argument before
But
the
wait,
internet.
hold on, laughing.
Yeah.
Just really quick,
Yeah, hold
laughing.
on, laughing,
I'll
please.
say this really quick and land. So thank you for actually being honest and saying that the reason why you didn't refer to, I don't know who you're talking about because I got here after that. I think the reason why you don't refer to them as he and you use she is because you don't think that this is a place that's safe for you to do that. That goes back
Absolutely.
to Laughing's point about you wanting to be able to assert power and dominance over somebody, and you can't do that in this space because you would have gotten humbled. So you do it
Well,
in a
no,
space where you
I
have
think it
power.
was
No,
for
Dory,
sake of
You
conversation.
do
That
it.
was
No, it's
it.
not about the sake of
It
conversation. You
was
do
for
it in a
because I'm not going
space
to refer to
you
Jay
do
as a
it in
she.
a space where you have power and you can assert power and dominance over them. And when you're in spaces where you don't have power and you can't do it, you scrounge up, and that is performative. So you're
Well,
not
would
even
I rather?
standing
Would
on
you
your
rather me get kicked
bigotry.
off the live? Would you rather me get kicked
Well,
off the
I don't.
live for
I
comment?
don't care if you get kicked out of the live or
Well, I'm
not.
just
You
saying.
still
I'm
have
just
these
saying. Like
ideologies. You have the
if this is the
ideologies.
thing,
At least
if
stand on it.
if I no, I
If
do
I
stand on
believe,
it.
no,
I
you don't
do.
stand on it. You don't stand on it because you just said right now that the reason why you didn't do it is because this wouldn't be a quote unquote safe space. If you knew that
So,
what
so
you
this
thought
is the
was,
thing, right? For
if
the
you,
sake of
Dory, if you
conversation,
knew that what you thought was
do you
correct,
think
no,
that
no, no,
like
Dory,
Lonnie
let's
would
just,
want me to?
no,
If I'm just
Dory,
like, you're a man, you're a man.
if you thought that what you believed was correct and
It
that you were
is.
right on what you believe and you would stand on that shit wherever you are, whether you're in a room where it's good for you to be that way, whether you're in a room where it's not. You're not standing on it because you know that it's fucked up and that it's bigoted and that in this space you're not allowed to be a bigot. So stand on that
Okay.
shit.
Damn.
You know
Stand
what?
on that shit.
I agree with
Dory, the
you.
girl eating you
I agree
up,
with you.
Dory.
No. Like
You getting
honestly,
dragged
like
by your
W.
fucking balls,
No,
Dory. You better hold Dory.
I know. Honestly, like Fatima, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I agree. So I'm gonna stand on it for sure. That's it for sure.
Them cuss you out. You better
No,
drag his
that's
ass,
but you
Lonnie.
can. But that's the thing. Like I don't think getting cussed out is very like productive. But like I'll stand on it. Like I agree.
Calling a
I
trans
agree with you,
woman,
Fatima.
and I don't agree. I don't think calling a trans woman a man is that's it. Like it
It's
like
not
now
Guess
we,
aggression.
what?
It's aggression.
but it's some things that I
But
can
how is it
have a
aggression though?
conversation. Like
How is it aggression though?
hold on, because I can have
I will tell you.
How
No,
is
like
please
when
let
me
me
and you
know,
were
Okay.
talking.
laughing,
I will tell
please.
you how it's aggression. Yeah.
Hold
Hold
on.
on.
Hold on. I respect Kenya and where she was coming from when she was talking about the female, where I'm going with this. I respect that. And I respect like how that would be hurtful in her like I can see where she would correlate like the two things from it is misplaced anger, true enough, and we can have that conversation. I can agree with that. But now we arguing over whether or not we should call these pronouns rather than talking about how the FBN and how people, X, Y, and Z and why what led her to believe that. We can have that conversation, but instead of having that conversation, you now arguing back and forth with Blanco over whether or not he a man or a woman and calling him a man or a woman. You could just be like, all right, sir, whatever. Now back to the conversation.
No, so hold
That's
on
it.
real quick. It's not misplaced anger, because it's just unknown. It's unknown about like the role the actual part plays. The anger in this need to switch up gender and sex is by there's like rich white men who are pushing a certain narrative for a certain reason, and they've infiltrated the trans community. Because if you think about how trans folks thought in the past and how stuff has changed, like since what 2016, you could tell that there's been a certain type of influence. So when Fatima says the patriarchy, that's absolutely right. And the way that King Kenya framed her issue is right. She's on the right track to be upset with what she's upset about. She's got to make sure she named the thing, like naming the thing. And it is people who say that they're trans who are pushing these harmful ideas. And the confusion is, or that I would think that some trans people will argue is, they're just saying that they're trans, but they really not. Because when you really talk to, like when we talk to Mr. Blanco, he said something different from some of these trans people who try to say like, oh, it's just a feeling and I just want it to be something different.
Mr. Blanco said he like in so many words, not exactly, but I was supposed to be a boy. Like so, and I've heard a lot of trans people have that sentiment. I think that's totally different than people doing something for a trend. And the trans folks can't prevent these like radical people from doing it and co-opting their existence. Like trans people are not gonna be able to stop that. That's just what it is. So I just want to make sure, and I guess maybe it is. Maybe you're right, Lynn. When I think about it, maybe you can still say misdirected. When I think about it, maybe that is a proper word. But Dora, I know you want to respond, so.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I agree with Fatima wholeheartedly. I was not going to quote unquote misgender anyone on the panel for the sake of the conversation, because I want to be able to have a conversation. And I know when you call a gender dysphoric man he, it really bothers them sometimes. Not for all of them, but for a lot of these trans people and they thems, like being gendered correctly is difficult for them. But yeah, I will continue to use my language moving forward. Host, you can drop me if that's too much. But yeah, that was it. Like, yeah, I completely agree with Fatima.
Problem is gay people were invisible sometime in the past.
Don't say the G word. Say rainbow.
What's the G
We
word?
don't want to get the like what you just said. A people, happy people.
Gay. I say gay people.
Yeah. No. I know you can't say that. Don't say the G word.
Oh, we cannot say gay anymore.
No, please stop.
Bro, she keeps saying it.
Just say rainbow.
We got just say rainbow.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. My God, what's happening? Okay, so the rainbow people, the rainbow people were invisible. So when they were invisible, they had to act certain way to fit in the society. I mean, I'm also from Somalia, as I've been clocked here. So even my society is still rainbow people are invisible. So when some groups are invisible, they have certain way of acting. That certain way of acting, they can communicate to each other when they need to. Just like we call for black people, we can do the code switching, you know? So they have their own body switching, code switching, all that stuff. But because now rainbow people are visible, they don't have to do that. So a man can go out with a man, a woman can go out with a woman. They don't have to go through hassle. And one of the key problems, you see how aggressive that sounds? And most of them, you know what they would say? Excuse me, we are two men. Because they would look at you if you are being hostile, hateful, and intimidating, because that's to put on their forehead what's invisible to us. You understand? So we are just doing the same thing. The problem is we have technology now, so we are even being more aggressive, because now we can be online, just marginalizing them harder and harder. But even rainbow people went through that. So it's a little bit disingenuous and a little bit of playing the game of, again, that game of power, that game of ignorance, to treat people as your own people being treated before. It's almost kind of embarrassing actually to do that.
You're very modern for a Somali woman.
Like my
Why do you say that?
You're very modern and very liberal. Like you don't sound like you were born here because you have a Somali accent.
Yes, of course. I was not born here.
Yeah, I was born here and I was raised here, and you're very, like, a lot more modern than me.
But what's your opinion?
I completely disagree with everything you said.
Oh, okay. So you are a religious person?
Kind of. Yeah, I'm a Muslim. Are you Muslim?
Well, okay. So that already clocks you out, because to ask anybody their religion is just like asking a transgender person what's between your legs. Why do you need to know what's in my head?
That made no I don't really at all.
No, it's just Somalia is 100% Muslim, so I'm assuming you're not one. But it's okay.
I think that's assumption that you are making.
No. Somalia is
she can be one. No, she can be one. This is what I'm saying. This is the issue that we have, because it's like, I know, but people are allowed to have different opinions and different worldviews. I think that it is actually. I think it's interesting that she was actually born there and raised there, and was able to, there.
I was
to unlearn. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm saying for you to be able to unlearn For you to
Yeah.
be able to unlearn the way that you were programmed, or like the way that people have told you to think, is actually very admirable, because it's easy for us to be bigoted. It's
Well,
easy
but
for
I
us
will
to be
tell you how I
ignorant.
did it. I tell you simply how I did it. Number one, it's part of my profession. Number two, because I decolonized my mind. Simple. I decolonized my mind. So I don't have the
Exactly.
center of patriarchy. I don't have the center of white supremacy. I don't have the center of misogyny. I don't have the center of religion. I have my own center in my own head because I decolonized. And I do help people to also decolonize. So I have a lot of transgender clients that I help them decolonize. So
I'm a Muslim.
it's not because I'm not Somali. It's not because I don't have the religion. Trust me, I went to Mahal Orangery, sorry, I forgot the name, where you go to learn the Quran. So I know, I even know the Quran. I memorize all of it. But that doesn't mean you don't have a critical thinking.
I understand. But how many, like, meeqa sana inta joogtaa?
5 years.
Say wallahi billah.
Yeah.
Wow, you've been here a while.
Yeah, mashallah too.
I'm 35 years old. I'm really happy you guys accept me to come to the live. I don't know how to do live yet very well. So I'm just kind of going around.
You definitely need to do a live.
I don't know how to do it. I'm very bad with technology. But I enjoy these kind of forums.
Yeah. At first I thought you was a YT lady. I'm glad I let you stick around. Yeah. I didn't know what was going on.
Thank you so much.
Because yeah, you brought a lot of insight. You even got me rethinking some stuff. Because I'm definitely on a journey. I definitely think that I'm on the right side of things, but I'm growing still.
Drake, I want to tell you a little story. I went back to I didn't go back to Somalia. I went to Ethiopia, and I had to wear the burqa, the whole thing, like, you know, covering myself. And I was walking around, and you know what people were telling me? Why do you walk like a man? You walk so fast. Why you walk like a man? And I'm looking at them thinking, I have place to go. That's why I'm walking like this. But you see, they think walking that fast is like a man. So when people are thinking like that, they already doing the anti-gender language in the language so casual. You understand what I'm saying? This is not new. The gender issue, it's not new. We are just online now. We're all online. We see it more than we needed to see, but it's not new. And it's a matter of patriarchy to control the mind. Even a cis woman to really feel some tension with trans women, to me, it's like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, we feel tension with each other for sure. Because I'm definitely not going to negate what cis women say and stuff like that, because I feel like the reason why we haven't been able to have the proper conversation is because we spend a lot of time arguing about dumb shit like the bathroom. There is no way I'm gonna be able to know who come into the bathroom. And if you come in there, God be with me, or maybe he'll God be with you. I don't know. But other than that, like, that's a stupid conversation. But I also want to point out something about y'all culture too. Like, I think it's interesting. Well, not you laughing, or Fatima, obviously, but with Kenya. The thing is, like, even whatever your reason for being indoctrinated the way that you are, the funny thing is, the jokes always write themselves. Them niggas in y'all country gay. Like, they be fucking each other. Like, they be with, like, a lot of the reason why it's separate and not equal is because they want to fuck.
You're saying gay people in my country?
No. I'm saying them niggas who be talking and be like telling you what you need to do and laying down the law, be laying down big cock or little ones. I don't know how big they is. I'm saying they be fucking each other.
Oh, damn.
I'm saying they fucking right now. Like, right now, why it's separate, why women gotta go somewhere and do woman shit, they somewhere fucking, is what I'm saying. So it's funny that they have all these rules, but they don't never tell y'all the part. It's nowhere in the Quran. It's nowhere where they talk about how they be fucking each other.
I think, to me, to be honest with you, I'm just learning about TikTok, so I will find more about it. But I think one thing I appreciate about transgender women is that because they if especially if they transition later in life, because of that splitting of their experience, I find that very fascinating. And I think as cis women, if we really open our mind and lean toward our creativity, we may learn something very powerful, because this whole thing of us fighting among ourselves, that is the true patriarchy. That is the true patriarchy, because we are fighting about womanhood. I mean, the men must be laughing in their little cabins or whatever they're sitting. They must be going, bring the popcorn. We have succeeded.
But
Because
gender
it's really
ideology,
ridiculous.
gender ideology is the patriarchy, though.
But
it's men, these men that dress up as women and tell women to shut the fuck up. They come into our spaces, they say, shut up.
Have you seen a girl named Pearl? She's online. Pearl?
Yes, I've seen her.
Have you listened to her?
She's kind of cringe. I've seen her around.
There you
wait,
go,
hold
my
on,
dear.
before y'all
There you
finish,
go.
hold on, because
There you go.
we got two
And I
new,
think she's a cis woman.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait, we got two. Hold on, laughing. We got two new people up here. My bad, y'all, because y'all about to go into another direction. I do want to address what you said, King, but I want to introduce the two new people, because we got Gaslight up here. Hey, Gaslight.
No,
And
what was you about to say?
we got my
What was you
girl
about to say?
Cash. I love Cash, even though she get on my nerves. But go ahead, Gaslight.
I don't know why you love her then.
I love her either. I just like that bitch. Look, Gaslight. I like my bitches toxic. I ain't gonna lie, Gaslight. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, so what do you mean trans is the new black? Like, what does that mean?
Come on, Gaslight.
No, I
Cause
really want to be
it
clear
was
because
it's been some YT trans women and trans men who trying to co-opt like the experience of being black to justify their bad behavior. Like to try to like they act like being black like they can overtalk a black woman, for example, because they're a trans person, and they'll throw it like one a YT trans man told me that I can call the police on him and lie on him. Now who that sound like? Where do you think he got that from? So that's why I said that. But yeah.
oh, okay. I think we blame stuff on man too much. I think we blame stuff on like I would blame this whole trans thing on men, but men are far more accepting than women. It's really women, you know. The ones who's suffering or dealing with this shit is women. Like if a trans man come in the men's restroom, we don't be trying to look at each other's dick, so we ain't gonna say nothing. It's just like, all right, bro didn't stand up. We ain't gonna even say that. That's just what it is. Like we don't be minding other people's business. Women do, and rightfully so. They definitely should be concerned with a trans person coming in women's spaces. You can feel like whatever you are, but to require me to suffer through cognitive dissonance so that you feel comfortable ain't ever gonna happen. I'm not gonna make myself uncomfortable so you can feel comfortable. I'm not gonna walk on eggshells and watch what I say because somebody's uncomfortable with who they are. I'm uncomfortable being uncomfortable with who you are and your requirement for me to talk about you a certain way. It's an everybody issue. I don't think it's a patriarchy issue though. It's not patriarchy. I don't think at all it's patriarchy.
I think it is, and I think it's levels to it. Like especially when it comes to the bathrooms, I think that the reason why women worry about the bathroom is a way more complicated reason that that it's hard to articulate because it's just a lot. So it just focusing on the bathrooms is it becomes the thing when the reality is you really won't know. Like you can't know who in the bathroom, but it's just some other stuff is complicated. I do think that respecting people ain't that hard, but Cash, what you got?
It is when it creates cognitive dissonance for you.
I think in some situations, I think that that's a fair point to make. Like you know, something like I could definitely see how, like for example, like somebody like a Lily Tino. I'm not playing with that motherfucker. But if it's somebody and I'm looking at them and my brain says, "Oh, Miss So and So," or "Oh, Mr. So and So," I'm not going to fight to misgender them, or I'm not going to fight
to get into an argument with them about who they are. Like that's what I'm saying. But in some situations, I think what you're saying is relevant.
So here's the thing, though, Mia. Here's the
Mhm.
thing, though, right?
I think that men are the
If you
problem.
look, if you look the part, and I'm not gonna misgender you.
Mhm.
If you don't look the part, I'm just gonna call you what you are
Yeah,
because
that's what
I'm
I'm
not gonna
saying.
suffer through your feelings.
Yeah, and that is what I'm saying. I think is a safe. That I agree with you on that one. But Cash, you was about to say something.
I think men are the problem.
You done
100.
changed your viewpoint, Cash.
What do you mean?
Cause last time you ain't say
No,
that.
I said I got a validation from it. Never said that
Oh, okay.
men weren't the problem. I think men are the problem because they're the ones egging on their wives to come. Well, I feel like men beat us. I mean, they beat trans women a lot. And that's the big problem. They're the reasons why we're even on the news and we're everywhere. They're one of the main reasons why we're so famous right now. Why we're so big right now, because every year is at least 4 or 5 cases of us beating B. And we're such a low population that it's such a big deal. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
reason why they care about us in the bathrooms now. Because
What
nobody even cared before like 2018, if you're gonna be
I did
honest.
speak to some. No, I think that there's a shift that happened in the early teens or late teens where it was this need to try to like kind of erase what being a woman was and redefine it, and they were in the wrong body and they need to transition because they can't live seeing something that they're not. Then why do you need to change what woman is if you say that you a woman and you a woman based on the understanding of woman now, female adult human, the experiencing that women face in this society. So why would you need to change the definition when all you need to do is transition into it? And when the bathrooms came in play is because when people got to self-identify, they get to say, oh, I'm a woman even though I got my dick hanging under my skirt where you can see it. And if I say I'm a woman, I'm a woman. You can't say that I'm not a woman because I got a full beard. And that's when the argument got very, very trivialized. So although I do think that some women who transition will not cannot afford, or may not want to go through such invasive surgery, and there may be some trans women who bottoms stay the same because it's just they can't risk going through the surgery or whatever their reason is. But when we talking about a man who really trying to cosplay a woman or cosplay a trans woman and come into the bathrooms, that's what the argument. But the reason why I don't like that argument is because, and it could be the area I'm in, I don't see that. So I don't think it's relevant because I don't see what people seeing. When I go to the bathroom, either I'm not paying attention or I'm just in the area where there's not that many trans people. It's not a problem. So I'm not about to sit up and argue that for that reason. And the other reason, who gonna be at the door? Who gonna be at the door trying to see?
I don't even think transition is expensive.
Cause you a rich bitch, Cash. That's why. Cause you a rich bitch.
I'm not rich. I live in the project. Well, not the projects. I live in the hood.
Before you say that, cause I gotta ask you something, Cash. But Gas, like I was gonna ask you, what you think? Like, do that make sense about like that perspective? Like when it comes to bathrooms, I don't think that it makes sense to, cause like who gonna police it?
Nobody is, and nobody can do anything about it.
I wouldn't say nobody can do anything about it. I got a really great
I mean,
solution.
no.
However,
Legally, anybody can walk into the woman or man's bathroom. Legally, men can walk into one's bathroom. It's not illegal. It's just seen as weird.
Yeah. But you said, Gas, like you said, you have a solution. What is it?
yeah, I ain't gonna discuss it here.
No,
It's not violent or it's not violent or anything.
Okay,
It's
I'm about
just
to say,
just a statement that nobody can do anything about. It's just
well,
emphatically not
true.
true. Um,
No, you're right.
that being said, no, I think no, what you said ain't wrong. Um, but I think what it boils down to is this is gonna go against what I just said. Actually, no, it ain't. Now that I think about it, yeah, no, women want to feel comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and I want women to feel comfortable. Um, Trans women can go in the room if they still got their, dangly parts.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they don't, they can still go in the men's restroom. Hell, even if they got it chopped off and they're not,
In
like I
the
said,
men's
if you're
restroom,
passing, if you're
oh,
passing, nobody's gonna bother you.
they don't bother me. But
But
when
if
I walk into the men's bathroom, I always get stares. So
That's because a lot of guys walk around with little meat and they're uncomfortable. I mean, that's a personal issue. They just got to deal with that shit. But outside of that, I don't see nobody like, oh, get out of here, you weird motherfucker, before we do something. I'm not saying it don't happen, but the amount of men who would feel uncomfortable, um, is far greater than um, it's far greater than it's far less. Sorry, it's far less than the amount of women that would feel uncomfortable. And I'm for protecting women. It just is what it is.
well, I mean, when
Not
I'm in
you
the women's
protecting the
bathroom,
women.
when I'm in the women's bathroom, I don't get stares. I don't get nothing. But when I get in the men's, it's always somebody staring at me.
In the women's
Again,
bathroom,
Nobody stares at me in the women's bathroom.
but in the man's bathroom,
It's always stares.
because they want to.
maybe it could quite possibly.
I don't
Or
know.
again, they're
It's
just
like
But
uncomfortable with their meat
if you go to my
size.
new post, baby, I post up with a straight boy that don't even know I'm trans. So, I mean, it's hard to tell.
Cash.
I mean, if you can pay, it's
He
hard to
not straight.
tell. Well, I mean, if you don't know, it's still straight.
No, no, no. Even if you don't know,
I
it's
don't
still
got
not
nothing down
straight.
there. It looks like a vagina. I have a
No, it
vaginal.
don't.
I have a
This
Yeah.
lady
vaginal.
be lying, guys. Like I don't know
No, no,
what
no, no,
she be
no.
like.
Because no, here's the thing,
It
This
right?
looks
lady
like
be
a vagina. I
lying.
have a vagina. I have a vaginoplasty.
Here's the thing, right? A vagina is just a hole. So if it looked like just a hole, then it looks like a
I mean,
vagina.
it looks like the outside. I have lips, and it's the same shape. I just don't have a uterus.
This
And the
lady.
inside.
This lady.
It's no.
First of all,
It's the same
first of all,
thing. I just don't have a
I
uterus.
look. I don't believe that. But on the flip side, like
No, no, no. You can't say that. You got to want proof.
What
You
you
got to
mean?
want
Believe
proof.
what?
I do want proof. Somebody,
I've had my
somebody just took
I paid 50K for my vaginoplasty when I was 18 years old. I got my 18th birthday.
No, what I was gonna say, Cash, though, is like I ain't gonna say that because I fucked with a
I had
long
my
way.
vaginoplasty. I got my vaginoplasty in 2016 when I turned 18, the same month. I paid out of
I don't
pocket.
know. I, you be trolling, so I don't know what's
I
true or
paid
not. But
50K for my vaginoplasty,
okay,
and
okay, Miss
I have an
50K.
OnlyFans.
Well, I want to see that, but that's another subject, Cash. I'm gonna have to stop bothering you on in front of folks. But hold on, Cash. Cause Jetty had a question. Cause you trying to get me to see something. You want me to see something. You being nasty. But
I
go
mean, if
ahead,
you want to
Jetty.
see my vaginoplasty, you can see it. I mean, it's
I
open
want to
for the
see it
free.
real bad.
I want you to see it too, Mia.
I want to see it real bad.
They going for the tick.
I thought you liked chicks with dicks.
I do. I do. But
Curiosity killed the cat or
yeah.
created it. One or the other. She just
But
trying to
I
see.
like you though, so I don't know. But go ahead, Jenny.
How the fuck is fish a slur?
You came in hot, like you got a hot fucking twat. What the fuck?
No, I'm calm. I'm just very, very confused. How is
No,
fish a
you
slur?
cursing and you YT. How you even know about fish? What's your pronoun?
He, him.
Wait, what's your race?
19.
What's your race?
Australian.
White.
No.
That's not a race.
White.
Cause you saying Australian, like we don't know the history.
Australian is
It's
not a race,
crazy.
girl. What are we talking
That
about?
is definitely not a race.
Sure. Can I tell my fellow American how it's a slur? Do you know what a fish is?
The thing that lives in water?
Sure. How have you ever eaten fish?
Yes.
How does it smell when it's cooked?
Good.
Good. Depends on how you cook it.
So there is an instance wherein it could smell not good, yeah? Have you ever been
Well,
to a fish
depends on the
market?
fish.
Have you ever been to a
A
fish
fish
market?
market.
Yes.
How did it smell in there?
Like the ocean.
Well, that's simply not true, and I'll tell you why. Because the ocean doesn't get its smell from fish. It gets its smell from the salt that's in the water. So it doesn't smell like the ocean. Try again.
Okay, smells like
And
salt. Your point?
but it doesn't smell like salt because they use ice in there, and ice is made from fresh water, not salt water.
And some fish are freshwater fish, so
Most
would
of it
be
is.
just
But girl,
If
the
we're
fish
being
is
honest,
usually
most of it
unalive.
is. So I don't know why it would say that.
It's when I go to a
Our
fish market
our fish
anymore.
markets usually don't smell too bad, but some days they do
Right.
smell really bad. I do get it.
No, you understand why fish is a slur?
If you
Well,
call someone a
I
fish, it
don't.
means they smell bad?
But any girl ain't no girls smell
yeah,
like fish. We gonna be honest. They just smell like
No, some of
yeah.
these bitches smell like fish. No, 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 hell no. Like when a
And don't
fish is
guys,
riding,
like don't say
That
that.
should be an insult, not a slur.
right. It's not a slur or an insult. I mean, fish. The word is not. Nobody's going around saying, "Oh, you fish. You smell fish." They say you
actually,
smell fishy.
Mia, did
Huh?
you look up that Mike video?
Damn, I keep not looking. Let me see if I can charge my other phone. Hold on, I might can charge my other phone. My other phone is charged. Excuse me. You said what? What is it?
Just type in Michael Jackson fish. So
All right.
I'll better explain it, right? Fish. If you look at women just as a fish, because Michael Jackson, he's like, oh, look at all the fish. I want that one. Yeah, it would it
Wait, what did
would
he
be a
say?
slur. He
That
said, oh,
seems more
look at
like an
all the
insult than a
fish.
slur.
What do you think slurs are?
And when did he say that?
Right.
When he was
The
alive,
semantics begin weird.
What year? Was he black or white?
he was white.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That was like decades after we started using it.
I don't know that we were using it before he did.
No, I'm talking about we, like
Oh, I
trans people.
found it. Hold on, y'all. He wasn't lying. This nigga insane.
If he was white, it's different. I
Wait,
mean, that
show
was the
it.
thousands.
Hold on, y'all gotta mute so I can play it. Wait, hold on. Shit, what the fuck? Hold on, y'all. Let me put it. Let me see if I can play it like this. It's hard to hear, but he calling them fish. Like he calling them fish. Like that's crazy.
What
Like
he
he
was
was.
saying, they fish like pretty too.
Nah,
Because Michael Jackson was a GAY man.
Michael
he was a
Jackson
lot
a
of things.
punk.
He was not. He was not that.
Yes, Michael Jackson was a GAY man who slept with GAY kids.
No, he ain't sleep. First of all, he didn't sleep with them. He raped them,
Oh
Cash. It
yeah,
wasn't sleeping. He
right.
was
No, my
raping
bad.
them, if
Not
that's what you
sleep.
say. We
Right.
gotta be careful about
Because
how we
look,
talk about kids.
he was staying over Macaulay Culkin majority of his life. Like, let's be honest. Come on, that man was around men, and he had an emotional attraction to a monkey. That man was JY. Let's be honest.
Nope, I will not believe it. He made too many hits.
Okay, and a lot of GAY people made too many hits, like Prince. He said he wasn't GAY, but baby, that man was GAY
because he
to say it's
wasn't.
wrong. Are we
I like Prince. Prince was petite.
are we
You
gonna
know,
be
I
for
love a
real?
petite nigga.
A man who sounds like this ain't GAY.
Girl, shut the
Hell
fuck
no,
up,
not with
Cash.
you sounded like a man now.
What I
No, a
he
man
sound he
sounded
talk
like a
just like
man.
me. He talk just like me too.
Cash, stop,
He talk
Cash.
just like me too.
No, not now. You made the voice.
Unless he's singing, he sound just like me when he not singing. That man not singing.
Cash, come on now. You be making a joke. You be
He
writing the
he
jokes
he
yourself.
only got bitches because he was famous.
I mean, some people like petite niggas.
And before he was famous, he was probably fucking niggas. So I don't know what we talking about.
He probably still
Listen,
he
he made
like.
a song. He made a song about Darling Nikki. You're not gonna convince me anything bad about Prince either.
I believe Prince like me and that nigga. I don't know.
Right. And same with Rick James. Rick James is
Oh,
definitely
for
gay
sure.
actually.
Rick
Hell
James was
yeah.
doing everything.
But then
Hell
there
yeah.
was Lil Richard too. I like Lil Richard, but he was open
Oh,
with that.
he was a
He
punk.
was open. Yeah.
Yeah, he did come out. He was a
If
punk.
it no,
Matter of
if
fact,
it wasn't hold on, if it wasn't for Lil Richard, Rick James would not be a thing. It wouldn't there
mm,
would no be no whatever that boy name is, Michael Jackson. It wouldn't be no Prince if Rick
I don't know
James
about
wasn't the
all of that.
person. Because Rick James paved the way for all those girls, all those boys.
Yeah, Little Richard didn't pave the way for
Little Richard,
he paved the way for the Beatles. He paved the way
no, he
for
paved the way for every black artist coming after him because he was the first openly gay rock star.
was he open though?
He was open.
he was open.
He made a song called Fruity Booty. Oh no, Fruity Tootie My Booty.
Was it that?
Close enough.
Or whatever,
that,
yeah.
lady said it was fruity tooty in my booty.
No,
Tootie,
no, no,
no,
Sound
no,
like a
no,
Freudian
no.
slip
It
to
was
me.
Tutti
no.
Fruity in my booty, right?
Close enough.
Okay, girl.
Tutti Fruity. Oh, Rudy.
Yeah. It was there was a biopic of Little Richard quite some time ago, and as it would have it, Leon played Little Richard, and they was on the bus.
Leon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got you talking about LJ. I was like, wait a minute.
Nah,
But you talking about the
LJ
real
weird.
Leon.
LJ weird. He be glazing. Like he be glazing. I'm gonna tell him when I see him. But
Don't
that's
talk
on
about
like
LJ.
nope. I'm gonna talk about him and I'm gonna tell him when I see him.
Girl, he used to get beat when he was a child for being gay.
What
Wait,
I recently started watching what's that shit with Franklin Saint?
yeah, the lie. Oh no, Snowfall.
Snowfall. Yeah, I just started watching it. That's where Leon Simmons come from. LJ changed
Yeah,
his name to Leon Simmons, copying Quavo. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, he
people
glazing.
did talk about that. People talk about that.
I didn't know. I just know because I just seen it. Just started watching it. However, this
Damn.
biopic, yeah, his music sound good, but then he needed his graphics. The biopic, right? They
Mm.
was on the bus. One of the guys
I
in the
say that
band was
name
like,
so wrong.
they was on the bus.
You called it biopic. Okay, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, they was on the bus, and one of the guys in the band was like, "Man, why we gotta wear makeup? This should make us cis, you know."
Mm-hmm.
LaRich said, "If I'm gonna be a cis, I'm gonna be a rich cis."
He said, "Lady, I want if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it
He's
right."
gonna be a rich sissy.
And then one of the other band members was like, "Pass me the makeup. I want to be a rich cis too."
Was this in the Little Richard movie?
No, this came out in the '90s, I think.
I'm gonna have to look it up. Matter of fact, I think I did see it, but I didn't know it was like it was open like that.
Then Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was gay too.
Which Michael
His ears
Jordan?
upside down, so maybe.
Michael
And,
Jordan was definitely
not
gay.
us,
The bald
but
black
hold
one.
on, wait, hold on, Cash, because the people in here, I want y'all to know, like all my folks, like especially people that be in the Discord and YouTube guys, like I want y'all to notice something. When Cash be coming up here, I get like I get real like dainty up here. I be flirting with Cash out, and I don't know why. I don't know, Cash. I don't know. You might got to stay away from me.
She the type of man you look for in a woman.
Cash be making me put my hair behind my ear, and I be like that in my.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Cash, I almost started singing to you, Cash, but no, seriously though, I just had to tell you so you'll. I don't want you to not be safe in this space because we be arguing and then we be making up. So I don't want you to feel unsafe. But I also want to stress that because I heard a bitch was hating on me, was hating because I didn't want to look at her goofy, big, oompa loompa, dumb, fake degree having ass. She was jealous because I was being nice to you, Cash. So I just
Who?
want you to
Now
know,
tell us how you really
Juicy,
feel.
Juicy. Went over there trying to tell on me. I heard when you said I'ma call Drika. I was like, that girl love me. I'm delusional though, so you gotta
I
excuse
found my call
me.
Drika because she was playing with me.
I know, and I was laughing. I was like, "That's my girl." I was like, "That's my girl," but I couldn't expose myself, so I had to stay. I had to kind of hide out. But that's why I'm. That's why I said out to say, "Girl, I'm fucking with you," because I'm being funny because Juicy was hating because you got to stay up on the panel and she didn't. But back to the Michael, whoever you talking about.
Michael Jordan, that was a gay man.
And Gaslight said the ears is upside down. What the fuck?
It was, and he had elf ears, and he was like,
It's wrong.
have you seen Scottie Pippen? Why you think Scottie Pippen was also gay too? Because how did he and Magic Johnson too? Magic Johnson was definitely gay. Because
Okay.
how did Scottie Pippen break his back 3 times?
Wait.
And why was
What's the
his back always
alternative?
sore? Why was his back always sore every game?
That nigga was getting his back blown out. It's crazy.
Same with Michael, what's his name? Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson, what? He got AIDS crisis.
Yeah, but they was saying that he had fucked like an animal or something. What
Magic
up, Mr.
Johnson.
Blanco? Mr. Blanco, we in here being problematic. Cash done shifted the conversation. Now we being problematic for real.
I know Mr. Blanco gay too.
Mr. Blanco said he's straight.
That's a lie. I know Blanco.
I know Mr. Blanco too. Mr. Blanco said he don't fuck around.
Why he lying?
Girl, don't be messing with Mr.
Y'all got
Blanco.
pictures from 2014 or no 2012. I got pictures from 2012.
Mr. Blanco?
No, for me.
Oh.
Like this.
Hold on, let me see.
You can't even see me full picture. It's because it's from
Which
iCloud.
one you at? Where you at?
I'm all the way on the right. You can't even see my face. But hold up.
Cause you blocked your face. Which one you is?
On the right. I'm the only light skinned one.
Oh, I didn't even realize you was like. Oh yes, I did. Yes, I did. That's why I started. That's why I was like, ooh. That's why she act like that. Oh. This a hint, huh? Cash, you let me know something. All right.
No, girl. I like everything. I like boys. That's a trans girl.
This you?
That's me in the club. And that's the boy. He didn't even know I was trans.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You stripping?
I'm not a stripper.
You in the middle or you the other one?
Left.
You keep blocking your pictures off. Oh damn. Somebody came up.
Hello?
Okay, girl, you look good.
Hello?
What's up, Vertigo?
Yeah, nothing's wrong. I was wondering, for that picture you had of you in the club, you said the guy didn't know you were trans, right? Or did
Yeah.
he? He didn't know?
No, he didn't.
Did you do stuff with him?
No.
Like I said, I was wondering, by your opinion, if you
I
were going
kissed
to
him. Well, he kissed me.
well, yeah, so if you were going to do stuff, do you think it would be appropriate to disclose that you were trans?
Well, I wasn't going to do nothing with him. If he kissed me, girl, that's his problem.
Yeah, well,
But you know
yeah,
what's
if he was going
funny,
to.
Vertigo? Like y'all when y'all be asking these questions, It be because y'all. It's like y'all be wanting details that only a
No,
cup
I'm just
will want.
asking.
No.
Yeah, I'm just
You want
asking. If,
no. You want details that only a couple want.
what kind
Because
of details they
like,
ask?
why you want a visual of what the fuck? Like y'all be excited. So okay. So tell me. So were you gonna let him know, or was it gonna be a surprise? Y'all niggas wouldn't care what it was anyway.
No, I would
Like,
care. So I'm just wondering. I feel
no,
like
you
it's very
wouldn't. Y'all be
important.
wanting the fuck.
Well, yeah, because I don't go to clubs and
He
I'm dating a
definitely
woman.
look. He definitely rubbing his pants right now. Let me say it for you, Chanel. Right now, he rubbing his pants. He fucking soaking up his pants too in the back, fucking leaking. Come on,
Yeah,
so
I'm
tell
just.
me. So tell me what you gonna do. Are you gonna disclose?
I think you should, or else that would be basically borderline assault. Actually, no, it would be.
Well, before we get to that, I think men need to stop assaulting women.
Oh yeah, I think both.
I think that's the more pressing issue. A trans woman disclosing or not is not the biggest issue. Okay, girl.
I think it
All
is an
right,
issue because
Cash. Cash
Anyways, you
look
not gonna do that.
I
good.
would say if you haven't, that would be
That was a
assault
cute
because.
picture, Cash.
I got my profile picture removed because I put something inappropriate.
Oh, that's
But
why you
anyway,
can't see your profile
Well, no,
picture?
it wasn't inappropriate. It was a pew pew, but it wasn't bad.
Oh, girl,
anyway,
you
yeah.
insane.
I think if you didn't, that'd be assault because withholding any information that could have changed someone's status of consent would have been assault for both men and women.
Well, more women are dealing with that than men, so I think we don't need to focus on the men in this hypothetical idea that trans women are not disclosing because in my opinion,
Do
men
they?
be searching for trans
If they
women.
do, that's
Like
fine. That's not the
literally,
issue.
men
That's not an
search
issue.
for trans women.
If they do, yeah, but if they're not, you should tell them. If they're okay with it, keep going. I don't have an issue with them. I just think that you should
No, and
disclose. That's
I'm
it.
sure for the majority they would tell. I just think I don't think it's a conversation. I just don't think
Imagine,
it's an
wait,
important
no.
conversation.
Imagine
I think
being
it is if we're
in
gonna
the
get
bed
into
with
it.
her. Imagine being in the bed with her. You're halfway in her. She said, "By the way, I was born a boy."
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I need some. They need to make a movie like that.
And do you know that they gonna finish? Now your life might be at risk after, but I think them niggas gonna still go. We seen with the that sister Han. Let me see if I got that. Let me see if I got it in here still. Hold on. I had did this live. Um
But yeah, I feel like if you didn't say that, I feel like it definitely would be because, or if they asked and you lied, that would be the same thing. I feel like also for women, both men and women. But that's all I want to say.
Right.
I'd be like getting with someone, and
we
that's why
had
men use
did this live
STDs.
right here one time. These men was going to this lady because they thought it was a lady, but then when they found out that it wasn't, they still had sex with this man because he a man. He just dressed up like a woman. So I don't
That's
think
kind
they
of
will
weird.
stop.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's not all men. That'd be like sleeping with someone and not telling you of STDs.
Niggas do that all the time.
And trans women do
Yeah, I'm
not
not
have
saying it's right.
STDs.
Yeah, I feel like if you do, you should be charged. Like, you should be like
I
put
don't
in
think you
prison.
should.
You don't think you should for spreading the illnesses without people knowing?
No, because I think that you should be aware of that and wear a condom.
Yeah, I mean, you
It
can
ain't
feel that
how it
way.
work, Cash. Some STDs a condom don't prevent.
But you can
So
get it, but
Yeah.
that's like HSV. Like that's different.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
So
very,
that's
very
why it
like
needs to be
permanent
yeah.
and life changing. Yeah. It just
Yeah.
sounds like you're a sick
HSV is
person
not
more than
life changing. You
anything.
can get rid of it within a week.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
Cash,
Yeah, okay, no, it is
hold on,
that.
y'all, cause Milo, what you got?
Oh, well, the background changed. I just like one question. But could you put it
Oh,
back up? Because I forgot what the thing.
but first, what's your race and what's your identity,
What do you mean by identity?
gender identity,
Ah, okay. A man.
and you YT?
Yes.
Okay. I would put it back up, but I have to leave, so I'm gonna come back later, and y'all can come back, and I have that back up because I literally
Got to go. I stayed on here too long. But thank y'all for coming. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. I appreciate the support. I love it. I love these. But I got